Subscription to at least upload one video every like 3.9 years or something.
3.9 years, every 3.9 years you upload a video.
Well, at least. That's the very least. I did the math from when my channel was created to the time, like how many videos I had, and just divided and came up with like 3.9.
Yeah, simple math.
Yep.
Well, at least you upload. It's something.
I have info from Christy.
Yes.
She walked to the store.
Oh, she walked to the store.
She is walking back.
She walking back. Yeah, sorry there was no audio for the first 20, 30 seconds or so there. I forgot after the intro ran to fucking switch us on.
Oh, that's all right.
The first thing started was I upload every 3.5 years. So Christy will be back. She will be jumping in whenever she gets back from the shop. Hopefully she'll bring some nice munchies back.
I hope so.
So it's early where you are, Vibrantly. It is after 12 o'clock here, and usually on the after party I open a bottle of wine. So I did open it after the show ended. So excuse my hyperactive talking.
Nice. I love wine.
Well, the people over here wouldn't even describe this as wine. It actually says on the front tonic wine and fortified red wine. It has a 30 milligram per 100 milliliter of caffeine content, and it's 15%, and it's jet black. So it's
nice.
People don't really call it wine; they call it Lurgan Champagne. It's sort of a nickname for it. If you look up Buckfast online, it'll not say a damn nice thing about it. But it's
really
lovely. Yeah, no. There's not a good report out there except from the people who drink it, which may be biased. But the government seems to, in Scotland, disagrees with me, and the newspapers across the country seem to disagree with me. But everyone else who drinks it says, yeah, no, we're right.
Oh no! Don't do that! Don't do that! Oh, sorry. I'm talking to myself.
So just to say hi to everybody in the chat. We've got Tony come in. We've got Chris. Dave's there. We've got Gio. We've got Brojo. Alias is here. B's here. Oh, loads of cool people. Old Man Dan. Old Man Dan left me in the entire time that I've done my show. Nobody has made a nicer comment than Old Man Dan. And he sent me 2 videos from his channel to watch yesterday or the other day. And I slept all day yesterday and I've not watched them yet. I do apologise, Old Man Dan. They are on my list to watch. I will watch them. But yeah, he left us. It has not been beaten yet. Still the nicest comment. It's always nice to get feedback from people when they're lovely.
Sorry, I'm just...
B, did you change your icon again? Forever changing their icon. Well, I need to get you a logo, B. Be Mindful is one of my Patreons, and they have their own wee channel. Respect to them an awful lot. They have a big Jeep, and they got like a trailer, converted it into something to live in, and are traveling cross country, working hard, living in this, moving on, working hard, and they have a wee channel, and boomed. You know, they went from like no subscribers to like nearly 300. It's a very interesting wee channel. Definitely give Be Mindful a wee look. Doesn't upload.
I'm pretty sure I might already be subscribed to Be Mindful, or maybe I just screwed with them a bit one time. I'm trying to remember. I'm going to look, obviously, but...
Be Mindful screwed with me for months. Because... Yeah. Oh, they would turn up for every one of my videos. They were really good. They were there from the start. You know, I was calling them #1 fan, shouting them out, lots of respect and all the rest of it. And then I did a stream. You know the way I do the streams with Richard on a Thursday? The whole alien thing. And the stream ended, and I could hear someone in the background, and I was like, Richard, who's that in the background? You know, I'd like to meet your friend. And he was like, oh, it's the best friend in the whole world. And overwalked fucking Be Mindful and come on to camera. It turns out Be Mindful and Richard are brother and sister.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yeah, and I did not know that for like fucking months, and it just blew my mind, and it was like, fucking bastards, did you like plan this? Neither one of you want to tell me?
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was gonna say is I like wine, and I like vodka and whiskey, and basically any intoxicant.
Do you smoke?
But I'm just about 4 years sober now. So, but I love wine.
Do you smoke?
Oh no, not anymore. I'm just totally sober.
Totally sober. Was that a choice, or did it get to the point where, like, am I asking, basically, were you an alcoholic and had to stop, or just a choice?
It was a choice because I realized I was an alcoholic. Yeah. So it was after the second DUI, I was like, I should do something about this.
Yeah. No, I totally get where you were. I do drink, and people give me shit for the amount of drink, but if you knew what I drank when I was fucking 15 and 16, like, yeah, as a young Irish boy in the culture over here, I'm not drinking fucking half as much as what I used to. I had to give it up for 4 years as well until I could get control of it. Like, it can be a very, very difficult thing. It can take over your life, as you say, man. When you get 2 DUIs, it's...
Yeah, but the second one didn't really count that much because it was on New Year's Day. Yeah. That's kind of embarrassing. I don't even know why I included that detail. Who the fuck gets pulled over on New Year's Day? Man. Like, at midnight? What
we used to do at the weekends is they would send me home in the first taxi because I had a car. And I would we'd get drunk in the pub, and then I would go home in the first taxi and then drive the 3 mile back in to lift everybody else, and then drive the 3 mile back out again. And we did that every weekend for the guts of a year. I'm surprised I didn't get caught.
Oh man, I bet. Yeah, that's and you lose your license, don't you? Like, second DUI, it's gone.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, in Ireland,
I would have lost my license probably for an awful lot longer, because I actually lost my license before I got my license. I was banned for driving from a year before I actually got my license. As I said, I'm a wee bit of a petrol head. I had my first car at 15, and yeah, I rolled a car like 5-6 times. I sort of lost count after the third time, and I woke up in a field on a wall, car wrecked. Yeah. Good fun though. I learned, that car was fantastic. I taught about 3 people how to handbrake in that, and yeah, it was very good. Tiny car with a 1.9 diesel engine in it. That thing had loads of torque. I did have to replace 2 back axles in it from hitting curbs learning to handbrake, but I loved that car. Yeah. I ramble. But yes, plenty of cars. I've mentioned before, whenever my woman was pregnant, I've bought a 1984 Ford Capri, which looks like an old Mustang. I've bought that for my wee girl, for me and her to work at, and for her to be her first car. Yeah.
First car?
Oh, it'll be her first car, yeah. She'll have to, because if she can drive that Capri, then she'll be able to drive any rear-wheel drive car. Because even at the moment when I still try to drive them and drive in 20 years, I'm still scared of them. They are a dangerous, dangerous killing machine. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I'd want my girlfriend driving.
No, but the point is, if she can learn. I just made that sound really fucking awful.
Yeah, like what the hell.
But no, they are fantastic cars. They are an absolute classic. And in all seriousness, I got it for very good money, less than £1,000. And if I put 5 into it, it'll be worth about 15. They're really going up in price right now.
Yeah, I have a Toyota. Yay. It's a good car, though. It's a 4Runner.
A Toyota is one of the most reliable cars out there.
It's reliable, that's for sure. And it has the, like, 4-wheel drive, and I need that. In Idaho, we have snow. Like, right now, it's snowing.
Yeah.
It sucks. I hate it. And I need to move.
Yeah, people don't understand that. I have a Ford ST, which is my daily driver. Which is still a wee bit of a sports car, and I have winter tires. Now, we haven't needed them yet, but I always put winter tires on. It makes sense. We've only front wheel drive here, but we do have hills, we do get snow, and you definitely need something. I don't understand why people just don't fucking buy snow tires. It makes so much sense.
Money, mainly.
Well,
I don't have snow tires, I just have all season tires and 4-wheel drive.
Well, the justification, the full set that I have for my car, man, not to talk tires, but the full set that I have for my car cost £120 sterling plus VAT, which is about £150.
That's not bad. That's
not
a deal.
Bad. And considering that you put them on for only a couple of months of the year and take them off, I generally come in at getting about 3 to 4 years out of a set. So you're splitting that cost, you're talking 40 quid a year. It's a sting at the start. But if you look at it that way, plus when you have the winter tires on, you don't have the other tires on. So your other tires actually last longer as well.
And how much snow do you guys get up there?
Every 10 or 15 years, we get a massive dose of it.
Oh, cool.
But
cool.
Generally, we would just have slush, but we're due. We had one in 2010, I think it was. We had a really bad one where it dropped to -15. Which is quite bad, centigrade, which is quite bad for us here. We'd usually get -5, something like that. But the whole country shut down, and we're due another one of them. Didn't happen this year. I don't think it's going to now. It's too late in the year for when we get snow. But I think it'll probably happen next year. Listen to us talking about tires. Sorry, this is what I do for a businessman. I work in a garage and mechanic and do tires and stuff. So I could, 20 years as of November past, I'm doing that.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how you measure a book in feet, but then you just jump to metric for measuring the weather temperature.
We have completely messed up
Throws
system.
Me off.
Yeah, we also use pints and litres. Like if I went to the pub, I would get a pint. If I drink my...
Well, yeah, we use pints for drinks here in the States.
If I'm measuring something in the hall, I will talk in inches. Say for talk's sake, like there recently I'm putting tiles down. I measured the floor in inches. And when I went to the shop, the guy in the shop was like, what is that in meters? So I had to convert it then to meters. But then, if we chop and change here an awful lot. But it's just the way that it's been, the way it is.
That's what it seems like in every other country that I've spoken to anyone. I mean, Canada and Mexico, and it seems like everybody just chooses what they want to use whenever. I swear, I was brought up with a bunch of fear-mongering against all the other countries using the metric system, and they don't use anything else. Well, it turns out that's a load of crap. And they use feet. They use miles. Well, not miles. Miles is dumb. But they use feet.
We do miles per hour.
Miles per hour?
Yeah, all our cars are in miles per hour.
Wow, I've been fed a bag of lies.
If you went over the border, though, if you drove 50 mile up the road and went into the south of Ireland, they work in kilometres.
Oh, that makes sense, though. That you just change halfway through.
Yes.
Because that's makes sense. It just does.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, you'd be driving from Belfast to Dublin, and near enough halfway, I think it's 60 mile. When you hit the border, it's 60 mile to Dublin and 40 mile from Belfast, and it just changes to miles per hour. I got away with it because I told my woman the kilometers per hour. Our limit in the north is 70 on the motorways, and in the south it's 80 kilometers. And I told my woman that 80 kilometers was 100 mile an hour. So I got to fly up the motorway. She didn't have
Nice.
Then we got to her auntie's house, and she was like, yeah, it didn't take us that long to get here at all. Don't know what took you so long. And she's like, well, the speed limit. And she was like, it's 100 mile an hour. No, it's not 100 mile an hour. Busted. Okay.
I met my friend halfway to Oregon when he was living in Oregon, and I was in a beat up Jeep, just totally almost broken down Jeep, and I told him, if you're going to be following me, I apologize if I'm going slower than you'd like. This engine's on its last leg, and so just don't call me and tell me I'm driving like old granny or whatever. Yeah. We get to the first rest stop when he gives me a call, like, hey, we should pull over, and he's like, you've been doing 85 this whole time. I was like, what? My speedometer says I've been doing 65. So yeah, my speedometer was broken by a lot. So I was wondering why everybody else was going so damn slow.
I'm a speed demon. I do.
Oh,
yeah.
So am I.
Yeah, I love my speed. At one point, over here, when you get caught speeding, you get 3 points. They stay in your license for 3 years. If you accumulate 12, they take your license off you. And I did have 9 and get caught speeding again and had to get a friend of mine. Now, because it was his first strike, hold on, for whatever reason my volume just went up on my phone. It was his first strike. When it is your first strike, you do have the option of what we call over here doing a speed awareness course, which you pay £90 for, but you don't get any points on your license. So you can only do it every 3 years, man. I've done it twice as well. So I'd already done it twice, and I'd 9 points. So my friend stepped up, and he took the brunt, and he went and did the speed awareness course for me, and I give him £100. I give him a tenner to say thank you, and a crate of beer and all the rest of it. And at the time, I was actually his boss at work and doing the shift. So I let him get a full day's pay, and he went and took the day off, and I put the paperwork through, so he got a day's pay for it as well. But I'm now down to 3 points. I've been a good boy since the child was born, because I'm doing so many miles between my woman and my house. We are upwards of 90 miles between each other, between 2 major cities. So I've had to get used to driving at the speed limit for fear of getting fucking caught. And if I lose my license, I don't get to see my daughter. You know, I don't get to see my girlfriend. So,
are radar detectors legal in Ireland?
There is the snake. There's a wee. No. I bought a car with cruise control, man. I bought a sports car. And the last time I got caught speeding, it took me with my old car 2 hours to get from my house to my woman's. The very first night in the new car took me an hour and a half, and I was determined to get it to an hour, and I got it to an hour and 10 minutes, and that was that got me 3 points. But yeah, an hour and 10 minutes to do 90 mile through back roads. I was fucking chuffed with that.
We have a bunch of mountains and stuff up here. I mean, if you want to do some real tricky, I don't know what they call it, but like dirt roads.
Yeah.
Really type driving.
I've done off-road driving.
Roads for
done
that.
Off-road driving before. That is a lot of fun. A lot of fucking fun. When you're sitting at 45-degree angle and you can see over the cliff edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets your heart pumping, but
it's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It is an awful lot of fun. We usually use Shoguns over here, Mitsubishi Shoguns. Can't destroy them. For off-road driving, Mitsubishi Shoguns with a high rear suspension. Really, really good. Them and Range Rover Discoveries. I don't know about American cars that much. You just really drive in a straight line.
American cars are... You're just better off buying German or Japanese.
I don't like German that much. When you're generally an Audi or a BMW drive over here, it's sort of a point of either status or you're... And if you buy it when you're younger, you're a drug dealer. So you're either a drug dealer or an asshole if you buy an Audi or a BMW over here.
I thought Audis were Swedish.
Is Audi not German?
I didn't think it was German. Maybe
Audi's,
the chat could help.
Audi's owned by Volkswagen.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Audi, Volkswagen, and Skoda are all the same car.
Well, that's just like Jeep and Dodge and they're all Chevrolet. Chevrolet is just one big umbrella now.
I hate Chevrolet cars over here. They're all shit.
So do I.
I'm a Ford
They
man.
are shit.
I'm a Ford man all the way. My next buy will be a 1994 Ford Sierra Cosworth Sapphire. That's exactly what I want. I know exactly. I want it in either gunmetal grey or white. 4-wheel drive, BOHC, double overhead cams. The whole fucking... It could be $6,000, but I do not give two flying fucks. I don't care.
I knew about like a quarter of what you said. I'm not big into cars.
I know. Where's
like
Christy?
one.
Christy needs to come back. Look, I'll diverge. Miss Sassy's just turned up. Miss Sassy, thank you for turning up. B's back. Daly's here. He can't hear us because he's just in the chat, but he's has us in the background. At least he's giving me a view. Tony, hello to yourself, Tony. Tony, I don't know if you know this, and it may kill you, but I looked back through all my old videos the other day and was double checking stuff and randomly came across a video where I actually say that thing that I know that I don't say. It is out there, the full version. I'm not telling you where, but it's out there.
Talking about that guy who designs.
Yes, but Tony Designs, there's a thing where there's a recording of a thing, of a person, of another thing being said, and he's trying to collect them. And Moon Planet. Do you know of Moon Planet? Christy's back to save us from talking about cars.
With my hair all fuzzy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're back.
There's a grocery store across the street, and my dog's food was wrong. So I took it back real quick, and then I still had to walk him. And it's hot because I'm in Florida, so...
I went to Florida. I was in Orlando. I fucking hated it.
It's miserable. Like the temperature in the summertime, it's like nothing can touch you. Miserable. But like right now, because I've been, going, I have sweat on me. But this is a nice time of year. Last night, many people had their windows open. I know you guys do Celsius, so I couldn't tell you what it was, but I can tell you what it is in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, well, I know 96 degrees Fahrenheit is 37 degrees centigrade, because that's body temperature, and I don't know.
So it was high of 69 Fahrenheit today, low of 50.
69.
I always feel like that whenever someone says duty.
Same.
I am so childish. Like, no, I had to go and do it. It was my duty.
Yeah.
And I turned into Beavis and Butthead. I just turned into Beavis and Butthead.
I can't. That part of my brain has not managed to do the growing up part yet.
No,
so.
Duty is always funny.
Or being on duty cracks me up every time.
Oh, don't double it up.
Hello.
Do you drive at all, Christy, just so we can diverge from what we were talking about to what you talk about?
Yes, I drive. Stick, too.
Stick, good woman. Yes, automatic as shit.
Yes. And 4-wheelers and 3-wheelers and mopeds and dirt bikes.
I was never allowed to drive bikes. No, was never allowed motorbikes. My uncle had... I had one uncle that was into choppers and one uncle that was into sports bikes, and both of them had that many accidents growing up that my mother never allowed us to have one. In saying that, we did build millions of go-karts out of fucking pram wheels and crash them into fences down hills. Probably causing more damage than what we would have done on a motorbike, but...
That sounds fun, actually.
Oh yeah, one actual day she came home, Christy, and we had taken both the washing lines down, climbed on top of the shed roof, jumped up onto the house roof, tied the two washing lines together to the roof and then to the chimney, and then stretched them down to the tree in the garden. And our garden was lower than the actual house. It was on a slant, and my mother come home to us with the BM bike missing its handlebars and us doing zip lines off the roof house. Yeah.
Never leave boys alone. Never.
Yeah. I have the same mentality with my wee girl. I've come home sometimes and my wee girl guttered from head to toe, and like she is like, "Have you no consideration for your child at all?" And I was like, "Dude, she's not dead.
She's playing in the dirt." Dirt playing is a lot of fun for little kids, though. And
for my,
I think a lot of people should do it.
My birthday was August, and my woman asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday. She likes going for meals. She likes going for spa weekends and things like that, you know. And don't get me wrong, women like to be pampered. She deserves it. She works hard. Being a mother is a full-time job, you know. And
yeah, there are no days off. There are no days off.
No. And I am a man of the earth. I like simple things. You know, there's nothing in my house new. Everything's second hand. I don't give two flying fucks. And when she asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday, I was like, buy the child a new set of welly boots, go to the forest that I grew up in, and walk the rivers. And that's just what we did. And I think we spent maybe 45 minutes in the middle of the walk. Just actually stopped because there was a wee mini waterfall, and we got some stones around, built a wee dam.
Played in it.
Brilliant. Just you know, that's the sort of shit I like.
Yes, I do like that too. A place where I grew up in, I grew up on the Mississippi River where Illinois and Iowa meet. There is a huge river that separates the two states. And I grew up in the Quad Cities. 2 cities are in Iowa, 2 cities are in Illinois. But, you know, an hour and a half either way was beautiful wilderness. And there was a place called Wildcat Den. That was the name of the park. And many, many eons ago, it was underwater. So there's these amazing sculptures out of the earth that were made by water that you can crawl down into, that you can use rope to climb down into. There's one called the Devil's Bowl where you're walking and hiking, and all of a sudden the ground stops, and then you look down and it's concaved in a circle, this big, huge, it almost looks like it was put there on purpose, but it wasn't. You know, the water did this. Crazy cool waterfalls that would freeze in the wintertime, all beautiful like. That was fortunate that way to see a lot of that growing up.
Yeah,
it does make a difference. I can see why you wanted to go be around and surrounded by that for your birthday, because it kind of resets everything, you know.
Well, whenever we were younger, my granny owns 16 acres, which isn't much in American size, but 16 acres, if you were to walk across, it takes a wee while, you know. And to this day, they're in the center of that 16 acres that my granny owns, you still cannot get electric. All right,
wow.
It is literally out in the middle of absolute nowhere. The main reason being it's sort of up a mountain ever so slightly, and it's a very granite-based mountain. So if you were looking to get planning permission, it's very difficult to dig through the granite.
You have to have a generator and do it yourself, kind of thing.
Well, it's not the actual building of the house, it's getting the planning permission. The only way you can get planning permission on this land now is we have a loophole in the law that if somebody has built a house 50, 60 or 100 years ago, back when the foundation law wasn't as adamant, you know, basically the house is granite. If you build a house on top of it, there's a built-in foundation. And that's the way the old people looked at it.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. These days you have to pile that. You have to put piles in. You have to concrete. You have to do all this. And it's very expensive and very difficult to get planning permission.
It detours many from moving there, I'm sure.
Yes, there's very, very, very few houses up there. So right in the middle of it, there's nobody up there. But we used to go there, and my mother was raised on this land. And we would go and look at the house that she was raised in, and out the back, it's still got a pump. You know, one of them pumps from the land that you have to get the water out.
Right.
It's still got, well, obviously it doesn't work anymore, it's rusted, but it's that sort of land, and we would go for walks, and I don't know how many sets of welly boots that we have lost up there because it was bog areas, peat areas, and we would walk across somewhere that you're not supposed to, and you're like, you look back and my 3-year-old brother is not there, and it's like, where are you? He's up to his waist being sunk into a bog. We arrive back at the car, my mother wonders where his boots are. Consider yourself lucky, mother, I brought him back. You know?
Yeah. The ground ate him. My bad.
Fucking wild goats and just growing up in the countryside beats anything.
It's a good perspective to give to children, and you're fortunate that you got it.
Yeah. We would. Like, my mum had trust with us. She knew that we were okay. And at the end of the day, if anything happened to my wee brother, she would cut my fucking head off. So all the responsibility fell on me. But she would dump us somewhere that we knew, like that forest park I mentioned, or my granny's land. And it would just be like, right, we'll meet back here in 4 or 5 hours. She'd go for a walk and tell my dad, well, I call him my dad, would be my stepfather. And she'd take him around and tell him memories and stories and all that there crack. And we'd fuck off and just run around the fields.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do the same thing, and we learned what to eat and what not to eat. I mean, we would go find mulberry bushes and blackberry bushes and just eat. We'd have dirt in our teeth and seeds and juice, berry juice, and we'd be a hot mess. But yeah.
You know what laser quest is, yeah?
No.
You have a gun and you run around like a warehouse and you shoot each
other.
Yeah. Okay. We call it laser quest over here.
Yeah.
Or paintball or anything like that.
You
know that
sort of. What it is here.
Yeah. Well, we have laser quest, we have paintballing, we have chalkballing, but you get the idea what I'm talking about. Yeah. Load of kids, load of grown.
It sounds fun.
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. When we were younger, in the fields behind us, there was an entire hedge that was blackberry bushes, and we would deliberately go in a pair of blue jeans and a white T-shirt, and we would fill our hands up with blackberries and throw them at each other. And when they hit your white T-shirt, they would stain your white T-shirt and it would show up.
Forever.
Forever. Oh, yes, my mother hated us.
Ever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Now, I would still eat them straight from the bush. And when I go walking...
Same.
When I go walking with the daughter, I would take them off. Now, she still hasn't eaten one. She hasn't got round to eating it yet. But when I give it to her the first time, she picked up, wipe her dirty hands on her trousers. That's Daddy's fault.
My youngest was like that, but my oldest wasn't. My youngest didn't want any mess anywhere. She'd start crying. For her first birthday, you get them that smash cake so they can smash it all over.
Yeah.
She wouldn't touch it. She was waiting for a spoon. She said, poon. And so her dad took her hand and smashed it in the cake. Birthday over. She was done. Hysterical. She wanted she couldn't handle it. But my oldest one would have, in her ears and her hair.
Well, I'm always outside.
They're very different. They're little humans.
Yeah, well, my only time off is the weekend, and my only time with the daughter is the weekend. And if I need to do anything or be outside or work at the car, she has her own wee boiler suit, yes, and a wee belt with plastic tools on it, and she comes out and helps me, hands me tools and stuff like that, and yeah. And I have a bad habit of, rather than touching my face after my hand gets covered in grease, I rub it on my trousers behind my knee, and that's just where I rub my hand. And if it's really dirty, I can close my knee and pull all the grease off. And the wee girl seen me doing this, and that's what she did with the blackberry juice on her lovely nice new outfit that my woman had bought. We're out walking the dog, she squishes this thing in her hand, then she rubs it in the back of her trousers. Gets it from. That's the fucking look. Oh my goodness. Oh.
That's I wouldn't be down with that.
No, she fucking hated me. That had to go home and get soaked in the sink before the wash and everything. Yeah, I never heard the end of that.
I'm surprised your wife doesn't make you undress outside, hose down, and then come in and take a shower.
She thinks that's my mother actually used to do that for us when we come home from the fields. During the summer, she did Yeah, she would hose us at the back door.
She was like, no, whatever you're doing is not coming in.
Oh, I'm going to let Vibrantly talk for a while. I've been talking for you.
Oh no, you're good. I was just going to ask about, I think it was in Ireland. I just saw something with a guy who was trying to build like a compound on his land and then like wound up shooting somebody because they were trying to get him off.
Compound involved, there's definitely a gun.
There's some strange people over here trying to get around. The laws over here is awful. There was a guy a couple of years ago who built a house inside his giant barn. Because the loophole in the law is if the house is built for 5 years or 10 years and nobody knows about it and you've been living in it, they have to let you just continue to stay there. So
that's very humanistic. I like that, actually.
Yeah, but there's laws to start. Yeah, well, he got to like 4.5 years.
He applied for planning permission and it was rejected.
Oh.
So it wouldn't have applied.
You know of this story, Dave, wasn't it? He ended up having a house to get tucked down, wasn't it? He didn't win in the end.
Yeah, he had to take it down piece by piece.
Yeah.
He was pissed off. It was all hell.
I think it was the postman that gave it away, wasn't it? The postman started delivering to the barn.
Yes. Yeah, and he had it. Oh, he had it with bales of hay to get to the front door.
Yeah.
That just wouldn't ever happen here.
No, the rules are very, very strict over here. Very, very strict. We got planning permission for a shed at the bottom of the garden, and because we've got the it's going to be a massive big shed. Massive big shed.
I think
So a shop.
and I can only speak for the area that I'm in, because in the United States, every county can be different, every city, every state, they can all be different. So I can only speak of here. If you are putting up a shed in your backyard, it's your property. You know, if it's a small, tiny little one-person shed, you don't have to do anything but build it.
No, tiny
But
one-person
if it's a
shed.
certain size, 10 by 15, you have to get permits because there's water lines, everything.
We're talking big enough to fit our digger in to fix the digger.
Yeah, no, you would need a permit, and you would need to have the area assessed. You would have to have them come out and put the spray paint and the flags everywhere.
We get away with.
Within the 5 years of us getting planning permission, and the planning permission lasts for 5 years. And if you get the foundations down within that 5 years, then the planning permission can stand forever. Well, not forever, indefinite, because the foundations is already down. So you could put the foundations down and wait 10 years before you built it, and it would be grand, regardless of what the laws had changed, because you got the planning permission. You would have to be up to standard of the laws of that time. But the fact that
a whole bunch of slackers wrote your laws, is what you're saying.
It's fucking... Within 5 years of us getting planning permission, the laws have changed that much that we didn't have the foundations down before the actual time ran out. And we went and checked, and the architect said to us, if you don't get the fucking foundations down before someone finds out, then when they do find out, they're going to cancel your planning permission and you're not going to get it again. So we had to rush to get the foundations down.
Jeez.
But within 5 years, they changed.
Here, you can get away with... I know someone nearby here that basically built an entire bloody warehouse with no planning permission.
Oh my god!
And as long as no one complains,
really,
there was a guy in
there for the 7 years. You get away with it.
Greenbelt
in Europe.
Greenbelt
in Europe, who put up a bunch of hay bales. I know, because he got denied planning permission, and then he built a castle or whatever.
He wanted to build a castle?
Yeah, no. He built a castle replica. That's why it's denied, because everybody thought it'd be an eyesore, and it was.
I do know of a guy that's over in England, and he was a forest caretaker. He had no real outside life, except he was an outside man, loved to live off the land and all that, and he was like a janitor to this forest park, and he lived in like a hammock tent thing in the forest park, and they give him special permission to build an old style house, which he did build out of barns. Even the architect complained, or not out of barns, out of bales of hay. The architect complained because everything was like 6 bales across, 4 bales high, and all had to be converted into meters and centimeters and all the rest of it. But he then got permission to build that house. From building that house, they followed him as a TV show. It was that big that they did. Yes, they did. He then ended up meeting a woman through a sheep thing, right? Because he has sheep, she had sheep. He was famous. They got together, right? They ended up having a kid within a year. And within 5 years, they had went back again. They had cleared an area in the forest and were building like a centre. And they were building the centre the exact same way that he had built his, in the old style. Loads of volunteers come in and help, and it was like 3 stories high.
6 bales high.
Oh, I thought it was so funny when they went back. He'd met his wife at like a sheep auction. It was like, that is so,
That's romantic.
Isn't it? And then a wee kid and everything, and they were living in the house in the forest, and it was just, oh yeah.
Your sheep story? It's not so bad.
Oh.
Well, when we have people trying to homestead on public land, our federal government just moves in and gets them to make illegal firearms.
Sprays them, beats them with baton.
Yeah.
Sets dogs on
Kills
them.
their kids.
Shoots you with rubber bullets.
What annoys me over here, though, the Jews have a law
Burns down whole compounds.
Yeah.
Like, there's Be Mindful, right? Be Mindful is, did that trailer thing traveling across. We can't do that over here. Like, I would, even if I wanted to, whenever I hope to build the house, what are me and my woman going to live in, when the house is being built? And my idea was to get a double-decker bus, which you can get over here for $5,000, which is not an awful lot of money. And you can convert that into like a small house for you to live in. But we can't do that over here. You're not allowed to.
What is their reasoning?
It's against the law. It's a mobile thing. It's not. I'm not sure in the exact lawing of it, but you cannot.
Because that sounds like a one of those greedy laws. Like, well, if they do that, it'll take money from insert company, so we can't let that happen.
Yeah,
we just cleaned up the streets. Town over from me, they just cleaned up the streets by passing a new ordinance saying that any mobile home that is out on the street has to be gone. Can't be in the same spot for like 2 weeks, or else the city's going to haul it off to the dumpster. And it was to basically limit the number of homeless people's homes. That's all. They just didn't want the homeless people to have someplace else to stay other than the shelter.
See, I hear a story like that, and I think that if I had the money that like Bezos had, I would hear a story like that, and I would think, where can I buy a lot of land in that area for nothing? I'm not even gonna feel the dent it makes to buy this land, and put them on it.
Yeah.
Those are called reservations, Christy, and they don't work out well for people.
Yeah. I think it was last Christmas or last winter over here in Belfast, we had 2 deaths of homeless people on the streets. And one of them was, obviously they were both found dead just inside shop areas. And they had actually they went forward and made effort to put like things on the ground so that the homeless people couldn't stay there. And then within a couple of weeks of doing that, this certain person had passed away.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I've seen them put
devices in dangerous positions when they're not, where we can see them. Where we can see them makes us have to do something about it.
In
and
saying that, Christy, in saying that, there has been, now I know it's Facebook, but it is the police Facebook. This is the local police's Facebook group. So I'm not going to call the police liars or anything like that. But there was 2 people in one of the local towns here called Portadown, and a local group had pointed them out that they were always homeless, they were always in this certain park and stuff like that, this, that and the other. And they made a big thing about it on Facebook, and the police Facebook actually came back and mentioned that they had made the effort. These people are choosing to be homeless. These particular 2 people are choosing to be homeless and don't want to be in a house, don't want to take the help. For whatever benefits it does give them, the police themselves have said that they have offered them help and they do not want it.
One time I got so low.
Our government currently places on it if you were to accept the help for more than a couple of days is what keeps them out of it.
I don't think there should be any, anything. They need a home.
Right.
It doesn't, we can 3D print homes now. A 1-room home that the bed is a sofa. You have your kitchen, your bathroom. It's a home.
I've seen that on YouTube. That is fucking class. It's like a wee crane thing in the middle, and it just works itself around and just builds the fucking house.
Pretty freaking rad. I've watched it too.
There's a lot of pre-built. I looked into building a house originally. What I wanted to do was build a house out of 40-foot containers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now everybody here says yes. Everybody here says yes. Went through the costs of it, went through the whole lot of it, and went to talk to a boy about it. And no hope in hell will I ever get planning permission. One person in all of Northern Ireland has got planning permission for a 40-foot container home. It's only 2 40-foot containers. It was built on his father's land, and it's sort of built into like a hill so you can't see it. And he is a big famous architect. So that's probably the only reason why he fucking got planning permission.
Yeah, container homes pretty much the raddest thing ever.
Offer him money for it.
I don't want to live where he lives, and I have my own idea. You have built over in America and over in Europe and stuff, there's container houses that I have seen that are fucking mansions. Like, mansions, man. And if the work is done right, it's.
I like 240s with a 20 on top across it. I think that would just be the best thing ever. And in the 240s not touching in the middle, so that you can close that off, and that's a room as well. It's just super smart.
Oh, I'm thinking
where hurricanes are.
I'm thinking 3 up the left, Christy, right? Sorry, 3 up the left on the ground floor, and then 3 up the left on the second floor. So it's 6 in total on the left, 6 in total on the right, with a space of 20 between them that's solid glass front and back, and like a big open living room area in the middle. Yeah, that sort of style.
There's something like that. There's a lot of things like that here on the beach as apartment homes or week rentals. Yeah,
it's so stupid. Like, don't get me wrong, okay? The standard of what somebody can consider a house, the standard of what you need to live in can be done. Yes.
Could you do it by turning around and getting planning permission for 3 static caravans?
Well, you know that's what I'm hoping for, and yes.
No, I didn't know that.
I'm actually hoping what we build.
Permission for static caravans. I think you could get away with arguing that a container is a static caravan.
Yeah, well, what we're doing and what we've looked into that we can get planning permission for is because they are the static caravans, as you know about, they are mobile, okay? So what we're doing is we're putting 3 in a U shape. We're going to have one with a kitchen and living room, one with a bathroom and a bedroom, and the other one with 2 bedrooms. And or another bathroom. And we're going to have them in a line, and in the U shape, we're going to fence it off, have a garden in the middle, like a courtyard like a courtyard, as you would have in a castle in the middle, and that's what we're going to live in, with a porch around it, all enclosed, and we can get planning permission for that. Then we're going to build the granny flat and live in the granny flat, and then move from that to the big house when it's done. That's the general plan.
It doesn't seem like none of that sounds like it would be outrageous or that a government would have an issue with it.
That's the problem. A lot of it is, though, Christy. That's what I was going to say. What we would consider the standard of living for a house is basically all you need is a toilet, a living room, and a kitchen. And you can convert the living room into a bedroom, fold-out bed. 4 walls, a roof with a general heating system. You know, that's what we would consider somewhere that you could live in, be warm, and cook and eat. But the planning permission over here that you have to sit to a certain standard. You know, foundations must be this low. Windows must be double glazed to this, that, and the other, which is obviously cost efficient. But there's a lot of rules that are stupid and unnecessary.
Yeah. We have some here too. Inside Tampa city limits, you're not allowed to have a tiny home. You know, you just can't. They're illegal. They have to have so many square foot per person. And a tiny home doesn't have that. So
people here want like fire safety. I don't.
Who knew?
I just don't get it. I want a mine shaft.
No, but you understand what I mean. Like, but my first year in this house, right? My first year in this house, my mortgage was close to £800, which is over 3/4 of my wages. But I wanted to pay massive amounts at the start so I could pay less later on, which is worked out okay. But the point I'm trying to make is my first year in this house, I couldn't afford oil. I slept on the sofa. I cooked my dinner in the kitchen. I didn't use the 3 bedrooms up the stairs. I used the bathroom. And I slept on the sofa in front of the fire to keep warm, you know. And I went and did my job. I paid my bills. I ate my 3 veg and food a day. I didn't lose weight or anything like that. I just didn't go up the stairs that much because the heat was downstairs. Not that it was...
I feel you. I could understand. Freezing is not okay with me. I don't live somewhere where it's cold, and when it gets 30 here, I feel like I will die. So I will sleep right by that fire you're talking about.
But the laws, as you say, that must be implemented for a certain amount of standard for this, that, and the other it's stupid sometimes. And it can be broke.
I mean, I get it, but I think that we're missing a crucial thing, that every individual situation is different. And let's say, like here, if your attic room has, you know, the tall, I can't remember the name of it, tall in the middle, and then it's shorter, you can't stand up on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you have 2 kids in this room, which there's plenty of room this way for 2 kids. However, because you can't stand up over here, it's like 150 square feet too small for 2 children, even though it's not. If it had you could stand up the entire length, then it would be big enough for 3 children.
Yeah.
It's just there's dumb stuff like that, and I know
attic conversions
people that
over
have had problems with it.
Yeah, they're called attic conversions over here, and we've something similar height-wise and square footage rules and stuff like that there that have to be attained to. Just if I can say, hi, Chris. The Daily Atheist has joined us.
Nice to meet you, Christy.
Nice to meet you as well. Now I have a face. I'll be like, I know that guy.
Yeah. I know you now. I didn't.
He's like a well-groomed, not in a white suit KFC general.
Hey. Be nice. He's picking on me now.
No, you know I love you, Chris. You know
I know. You know, I never thought about it until you said it. Now I'm like, damn you, Mathpig. Blame who?
If the name doesn't give it away, the Daily Atheist does content every day, Monday to Saturday. Saturdays is Sci-Fi Saturdays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. During the week, it is 1 o'clock my time. It's 32 minutes. 6 a.m., which is 8 a.m. Eastern Standard, isn't it?
Yes.
It is 8 a.m. Yeah.
Yes.
But every morning, and the lucky so-and-so, not that this is not safe for kids, the lucky fucker, has got hold of all the contact list for the American Atheists. And I'm going to steal your guest tomorrow. I really want him on. He is fantastic. I've seen him on the Atheist Edge loads. He's very funny.
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, Zach. I like Zach. He's a lot of fun. He's kind of high energy, you know, and he's focused. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know about high energy. I'm quite low energy myself.
Yeah. He's just got a focus that I appreciate. He's there with the American Atheist. He's ready to get the word out. I'm excited to have him on. I like having him on.
We're talking nice about Zach having Block, right? That new young energy though. It brings the whole room up. So.
You know, I'm sorry, Christy. I missed the first part of your show. I was in the chat, but we were doing dinner, so I couldn't hear anything. I didn't catch anything. Could you catch me up?
What did we talk? We talked about a few things.
Yeah, we talked about politics. We talked about the education system. We talked a wee bit about the Iowa caucus. We talked about 2016
that
election.
Was a big thing.
We did a politics talk. Yeah, we just bantered, man.
A liberal atheist kind of person. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I just want to try to figure out who I'm
She's a dirty communist. Dirty communist.
Junkie.
She's a dirty communist.
You're what?
A policy junkie. I could care less what letters after anyone. I want to know what policies you stand for. I have no problem reading them. I will read them. I have no problem telling people how I understand or explaining to them why this policy is so good for you and voting against it is not the best idea. I think that that's where it matters, and that's where I feel, and I'll speak for myself, we've been slacking. I'm sorry if that hurt myself, but we fall asleep on that. We need to pay attention to that, because if we don't, someone is. Mm-hmm. Someone is, and I'd rather it be us.
In fact, they're counting on the fact that we're not reading it.
Yes, mm-hmm. And they like to take a really good policy and smash it together with a really shitty nationalistic policy. And if you vote against it, you'll be known as voting against this wonderful policy. They use this shit. You have to pay attention and understand why when someone says, oh, but they voted wrong on this, why it would matter for you to be like, okay, but that one doesn't really, you need, it's a lot. It's probably at least a part-time job to pay attention. Unfortunately, and if you live in the most powerful country in the world, who has the most powerful military in the world, it's almost an obligation to pay attention.
Sorry, I was going to say Israel.
My dogs are going off. Yes.
Yeah, they are. I have one of those.
Yeah, my little fur babies. I got, we got 4 of them. They're all about 30 pounds. And
I have 5.
Oh, really? Oh, look at you go.
4 cats and a dog.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a time when we had 11, but I was rescuing and finding them forever homes. So.
Just as you were talking earlier, sorry to interrupt, Chris, but just to make a point, you were mentioning earlier about taking animals in and then getting out of control. There's a guy, actually, if you look up Donegal in Ireland, he started taking up pets in his mother's backyard as a young kid, and then it got a little bit out of control, and then he's now went and bought a big, massive, giant area of land in Donegal, and he's bringing back animals that used to be here, like wolves and bears and stuff. Obviously, they're not the exact breeds because they've died out, but as close as he can get. There's only one animal there. He has monkeys. That's probably for the kids. But he has monkeys, and that's the only animal that is not native to Ireland. I can't remember the exact name. If you search for RTE News, he did a segment on the RTE News. Okay. And you'll probably find it that way. But he did the exact same thing. Started out keeping animals, helping animals, and now
I can't help it.
Yeah.
There's a cat right now living on our porch. It's a kitten. Showed up about 4 days ago. Just showed up. Like, that girl's Mary Poppins. She'll feed me, which I will. So
cats have 3 owners generally.
I made a little bed for her. It gets cold at night. She slept in the bed every single night. She's had catnip, and so now we've got to go get her fixed. She can still live outside and be who she is, but she cannot have babies on my watch.
There's a massive
good call.
There's a massive show over here, a big farming show for all the what we would call culchies. Dave knows what I'm talking about when I say culchie. It's called the Balmoral Show. And it costs about 50 quid to go for the day, which is absolutely scandalous. Time you pay for your parking, time you pay for your entrance fee and stuff like that. It's a very expensive thing. And I decided as of last, because I want the daughter to be interactive with animals. I wanted to see the cows and see her food, you know. And,
so important, yes.
And at the end of the day, I don't want her to be afraid of it and then suddenly become a vegan at 11. You know where your food comes from at the start. But I decided I'm not taking her to that show anymore because we didn't really get any interaction with the animals. You have to stand in the crowd, and you're an hour queuing to get in. It's fuck that shit. So I looked up and I found an open farm 15 mile away from where I live, and we went there last year and we went again there last month, and they have a crocodile, they have birds, they have goats, they have llamas. It's a volunteer place.
So cute.
They have a reptile house, Christy. They have a little reptile house. And last year, my girl was all up for holding a tarantula and chasing a Komodo dragon and all this shit. And this year, she was petrified. Brought her this year, she fucking shit herself. She chased the cat outside. No, not going near it. Loves the pigs.
Dragons will eat her.
Oh, she walked past. We're in a designated area where they go into a certain pen and they get out the gerbils or the rabbits, you know, and all these little small rodents.
Not the Komodo dragon.
Oh, she walked past the woman that works there and opened the gate and went straight into where the rabbits was. And it's like, I'm very sorry. I went to get her out. Like, no, it's okay. They can't escape.
Don't mind my daughter.
Yeah, she said, I want to play with the rabbits. So I'm going to mute myself and let Chris talk for a while. I'm taking over my own show. But
I'm going to run away to sleep.
Well, Dave's here. What was that, Dave?
I'm going to run away. I've got to sleep. I've got physio stupidly early in the morning.
Okay. Well, good night.
Dave.
It was cool.
Have a good night.
Dave, see tomorrow, whenever you wake up, you know more UK people than me. Will you start a wee Twitter group so we can start sorting out DaveCon? I'd like to get that, at least get some numbers and stuff. If we can get 8 people, we can stay in a marble kitchen luxury apartment for 25 quid a night if we can get 8 people.
Excellent. Okay.
All right.
I'll speak to you tomorrow.
I really appreciate you coming, man.
No problem. Night, everyone.
Bye, Dave.
Sweet.
Dave's not here, man.
Yeah,
I had to.
Did you know Dave's by?
I didn't.
You didn't? No, we're not making a big deal out of it, though. We're not making a big deal out of it.
Who isn't? I mean...
No, it's a running joke, Christy. That is, it's like...
I'm being serious.
I know, that's why it's funny. Next time you see Dave, he's now left and probably still listening, but the next time you see Dave, ask him, is he by? He'll say yes, then you go, okay, but we'll not make a big deal out of it.
Okay.
I have a t-shirt in the working. It's gonna be a t-shirt.
Okay.
We were trying to do it with a few people in the group. You know, we've got Sadie, who's not here tonight. She's probably sleeping. She's UK as well. Sadie's on Twitter and very promiscuous would be a word that I would use. Doesn't appreciate dick pics, but says what she means, says how she feels. And we're going to do one for Sadie that is, did you know Sadie gets dick pics? But we're not making a big deal out of it. You know, so we're going to make one for Chris as well. Chris is part of it.
I'm into human empowerment, so you go, girl.
Yeah, I'm into self-deprecation, so no kink shaming.
I mean, I'll make a little bit of a deal about it.
We're gonna have to make one for. We're gonna have to think of one for Chris. If anyone can think of one for Chris that knows Chris, you know.
Well, they don't know me yet.
Yeah.
No, well, not
Give
on
it-
screen, but there's
give
people
it
in the
some
chat that know
time.
you. There's people in the chat that know you, Chris. There is.
Yep. Well, you know, this is of course, the first time I've met Christy. It's also the first time I've met Brant. Is it Brant? Is that right?
Yeah, it's Brant.
Hola, señor. ¿Qué pasó?
It's just like the goose, but you probably don't know that either. So it's
Oh, that Brant.
yeah, just like that.
Gotcha.
That's what I was named after.
Do
Well,
you
I've
have a
only actually
channel?
met Brant the night tonight as well, video and vocally. I have talked to him
Yeah.
in chats, but never had him on and never been on a hangout with him before.
Really?
Yeah, just a YouTube channel. I don't have like a Twitch or anything fancy.
Yeah, I don't have the Twitch yet.
Don't say yet. Don't go down the Twitch. route.
Sometimes I twitch, but I don't.
Usually after coffee. Lots of coffee.
I do watch Twitch though. I like the Surfs, a YouTube channel, and they do much more of their live streaming on Twitch than they do on YouTube. They'll post it to YouTube when it's not live anymore. But you know that. But what's awesome is I just click on the link and it takes me there. I've never had to start a Twitch something.
That's how Hannah and Jake are now with
Yeah.
the Bible Reloaded.
Yeah. He does repeat it on YouTube, but the interactivity and the live is all on Twitch.
Well, see, I thought Twitch was just for gaming, solely for gaming, and then I'm recently learning that it's not. People have just
But I
talk.
thought
That would
Discord
be
was
like-
for gamers, and it's not.
Yeah,
That'd be like saying Pornhub is just for porn. It's not.
It's so
Right.
not.
It's so
There's
not.
so good, so much good comedy on there. You just
What?
gotta know.
What?
just gotta know where to look.
Okay, right. Well,
And have a very awkward sense of humor.
there's
Yeah.
different going
Well,
back to Twitch, there's different functions on Twitch. Like if you end one Twitch stream, you can send all your viewers to another Twitch stream. So if you were watching, do you know where you have the after parties, Chris, after your dailies, and then Jen will usually do one, or One Ring will usually do an after party.
Yeah.
You can end yours and all your viewers will automatically go to the Twitch
I did not know that.
without having to rely on them. You know, when you do an after party, as we've discussed before, with the main one, then you go to the after party and you get full-time views but usually less numbers because people have to make the choice to come back. With Twitch, now don't ask me how to do it. You know, I've just talked to people about Twitch, and
Right.
I've set OBS up to actually dual stream. The only thing I have to do now is create a Twitch account, but I've no interest in it.
Brant or Christy, do either one of you guys live stream on the regular? Or?
Every Friday night. I do.
Every Friday night, I'll have to catch one of your things. What's it about, generally?
The channel's name is Leah Podcast, which stands for
Check the
League of
description.
Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism.
All the links are in the
Wait,
description.
wait, I've heard of that. I've
Yeah,
heard of you.
yeah.
Okay, hey, that's you. Hi, lady. I feel like Andre the Giant. Hi, lady. For those old enough to get the
The
reference.
Queen. There you go.
Yeah, so now I've got to follow the podcast. I did follow you on YouTube, but that's different. So how do I find your podcast?
It's in the description, Chris.
Oh, of your thing. Thank you, sir. Good man.
I learned
You'll
all
have to
that
come on
from
the
you.
show.
I did learn that from you, so credit to
Okay.
Chris for that. My description game went up about 3 weeks ago, and about a month and a half ago I met Chris. So that's
Yeah.
down to Chris.
He's come a long way. He helped me build my Discord. He's been
Nice.
wonderful.
I didn't
He's
help
very
you build your Discord. I hit
You
3 buttons. I hit 3 buttons, man. I just have a clone.
Right.
I actually
just
have
sit
a
there
new
and
one
look
that's
at it,
better.
drooling, and
I have a new one that's better. I can upgrade yours if you want it. If
you know,
want
anytime
it.
you want, yeah, as you wish. So, Brant, do you have a live stream?
Not regularly, but I just that reminded me of something. Did you see that 2 years, or I think it was 2017? Yeah, I guess that's 2 years ago or something like that. Anita Sarkeesian did a Patreon or GoFundMe for $500,000 so she could start a Discord.
I start
Really?
Discords for guests if they come on and don't have
Yeah,
one as a
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free. It's free for everyone. You don't need $500,000 to start a Discord channel.
Wow.
You want to hear something cool about fundraising? Hold on. So my mom is a twin. She's one of 8
siblings. Oh my god, twins are creepy.
Yes. Well,
I'm a twin.
Are you? That's awesome. See, my mom's an identical twin, so as a kid, we were all very confused.
Okay.
Very confused. There are pictures where they're standing side by side saying, "Come to mommy," which I'm like,
that's just mean.
Why? Well, anyway, so my grandmother, their mother, was renting. She'd lost her husband, sold her house, a whole bunch of things. She needed, like all of our elderly, which is one of the topics we had and in the stream earlier, she needed just someone to say, "You've done your job. Let me take care of that part for you. You've done your job." And so they did a fundraiser, and everybody in the family, all her children, grandchildren, cousins, nieces, everybody came together and they bought her a house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My aunt flew from California to Iowa to do everything that needs to be done. I just thought that's such a fuzzy story right here.
Yeah, back to the houses and being able to build that just makes me think of the end of The Patriot, where everything's destroyed, the house has been burnt down, and they're like, "Well, we're going to rebuild the country, and we thought we'd start with your house."
The whole country.
And the show was it's like covered a 7-year span, but the little kids never grew up.
The 90s.
Don't ruin it, man.
We didn't even realize that. The 90s
ruin
were
Right. Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts. I was like, I want to be Peter Pan too. I want to find you. There's your gaming. I'm looking for your.
No,
stuff.
not if you have to stay at Neverland Ranch.
What are you looking for, Chris?
That was outdated.
What'd you say, Chris?
Oh, I'm looking for Leah's. The Leah stuff is what I was looking
You'll probably
for.
have to type in the very first time.
Oh no, in his description.
It's in
Oh
the
yeah, you
description.
don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I was just trying to find the right one.
Yeah.
It is in there, is it not? I even think I put her Patreon in there. If anyone wants to.
You got her channel, her Twitter, her Patreon, and her Facebook group, but you do not apparently have the
link.
Yeah, but he's so condescending when he says it. He's like, "It's in the description, man. Go look at the freaking description."
That's more Scottish than Irish. That was way more Scottish than Irish.
Yeah, he's like, too aggressive. Remember that? Mathpig. He got me into a debate with a Christian. I was like 2 minutes into it. He's like, too aggressive.
I'm just going to be very aggressive here, but Chris, go fuck yourself. The very first link is the Leah Podcast YouTube channel.
Oh, that was...
The very first one. I just checked it.
Okay, I thought I was looking for something else. I thought I was looking for an actual podcast. A separate podcast. Silly me.
Hold on 1 second there. Just give me 1 second. Boom!
I got that for free.
You got that for free.
I've seen Lucy do that to Mathpig. She'd be like, wait, and she just bounces ass.
Oh, she kicks me.
Okay, so I will try to be there and listen to your podcast.
Yeah, Friday night at 10:30 p.m., which is very late for our European friends, but it's Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast, like Brant, who's in Idaho, it's pretty early.
Chris will be asleep. Chris, you usually go to bed at that time, do you not? 10 o'clock on Eastern Standard.
Yeah, actually, well, it was more like 9. I get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
so do I.
3:30, 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh no, that's the time I go to bed.
Yeah.
See? And that's why it's as we were talking and we mentioned the morning show and Mathpig said the hours and I saw you over going
No, I'm like, no, that's not the time that I'm awake.
You probably wouldn't be conscious.
Yes, I have seen your videos. I can't catch them live. It's Nacha Witness, who is the producer of Leah. When he does live shows, I feel so bad because when he gets done with dinner and ready, it's for me 5, 6, or 7 a.m.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'll set the alarm and I'll drop the phone on my face.
Yeah, we all done that.
I have the streaming morning show, the live streaming morning show. I have scripted videos. My current series is the Evil God Monster of Abraham. I love that. I just like
he
saying
leans
it.
forward when he says it every time. Every
Evil God Monster of Abraham.
Yeah, like it.
But I'm also thinking about I'm going to start an evening stream. Probably be between 7 and 9. I don't know. And it'll be atheist.
That's midnight
liberal.
and 2 for me, is it? Midnight and 2 p.m.
Yeah, it'd be a little late. Probably.
Oh no,
for
midnight's
you.
grand. Midnight's grand.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great then. Yeah, but I'm trying to find. I want to find the right combination of things before I set it going. I want to find a co-host, the politics, atheism kind of thing. Because just sit there by yourself and talk is boring.
Can I just?
Well, and with politics, it's good to get somebody that you can have a banter with.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily for entertainment purposes, but it's nice if it does have that. But it's for beneficial reasons. You know, you enjoy bouncing things off that person, and it's good if there's a few things that you don't agree on. I don't know. I just like that. I like that.
Well, I'm just.
Or that you challenge each other on.
I'm just putting this out there for Chris's benefit, and because you know Critical Cripple as well, Christy, don't you? Yeah, I'm trying to persuade Dave to do the odd week co-host on a Tuesday with me. So dibs on Dave. All right.
Dibs on Dave.
Dibs on Dave.
Dave dibs.
Dave dibs.
Dibs on Dave. Yeah, so that's kind of with the morning show. I switch out guest hosts. They come on for a week at a time, and preferably content creators who want to kind of get their word out. And then I have special guests who come on once a day. So trying to grow those as well. That's where Zach comes in. Zach's been a lot of fun. Zach Boss. And then Justin Scott, man, that guy's passionate about his atheism and his get the atheist vote out.
Chris, take some credit where credit is due. That man has near doubled his sub count in this last month and a half. All right.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah. I went from 80 to 500 subs in 2.5 months.
I know.
Oh, do you? Yeah, kind of rocking it.
Insane. That's a lot of submissive women.
You know? Well, it's the beard.
I thought I was doing well, Chris. I started in fucking August, and I was 300 and something. I thought I was doing all right, and then out of nowhere, here comes fucking Chris with his big sword and his empire. And he's like, yeah. Nobody can see me now, but I'm actually puffing out my chest and head held up. All right.
I got a story to tell. Okay, let me tell you this story. I'd heard about this place before, but it's been a while since I've been there. And then Mathpig one day, he shows me, he's like, come here, let me show you this place. Because he's got a channel, I got a channel. He's like, he pulls up Social Blade, and he's going to show me his Social Blade. And he's got like 79 or 74, 72, I think it was 72,000 was his projected 5-year thing. So he's like, can see this tells you all this, and he showed it to me. I thought, man, that's really cool. And then we looked up mine, and mine was 79,000.
Fuck you.
He showed it to me. I was already I didn't even know it was there. And then he's like, I'm watching you.
I know it gives you a good predictions one. Like it says to me that I should be at getting super chats within 5 to 6 months. Now I want to do it in 4. It's like one of them signs you see in the motorway. You will reach Belfast in 30 minutes. I'll do it in 20, bitch.
That's right.
I always race Google Maps. Whenever Google Maps tells me like, oh, you'll get here at this estimated time, I'm like, oh, fuck, I will. I'm gonna beat that.
Yep.
I broke 105.
Beat that by an hour.
Hey, Mathpig, I broke 105,000 today.
Views.
My 5-year projection is 105,000. It's just every time I look at it, it goes up by 1,000.
You're one of them addictive people, are you? I didn't.
Stats, baby, stats.
Yeah, I know, but if you check see, the thing about it is, man, right? Now, in all honesty, I was something similar to yourself. I was actually predicted in the first month and a half 2.5 million views within 5 years. But as it goes along, it becomes more realistic. So I found checking it every day, it'll peak like fuck when you're, especially at the start, because you've doubled in such a short space of time. If you keep that algorithm going, obviously exponentially it'll be higher, but over a longer period of time you'll get a more average view and it'll drop. I'm not justifying it. Stop smiling, you're doing well. All right,
I could listen to you read the phone book. Like, I love your accent so much.
Ask him to do the Lucky Charm thing. Ask him. Go ahead.
I've already done it, and she said I would never have asked you to do that.
do it, but now that I know it's available.
Out of nowhere when she mentioned the accent and just went, "Stay away from me, Lucky Charms."
Well, yeah, but we're not going to make a big deal out of it, right?
We're not making a big deal out of it. No, we're not
Well, we're not making a big deal of it.
Oh, I've one for you, Chris.
Okay, all right.
Did you know Chris does daily atheisting?
I'm an atheist.
No, you do. You have that atheisting.
My travel blog is an atheisting, where
Yes.
we, to atheists, it's a verb, to atheists somewhere while doing something. So, yeah.
So, did you know Chris does daily atheisting? But we're not making a big deal out of it.
But we're not making a big deal.
But we are making a big deal out of it because Chris is building a fucking empire.
Here. Okay.
Oh yeah, have you got your T-shirt on? Have you?
Brown chicken, brown cow. Sorry. Just slip the ones in the side.
Have you got your merch on? Have you? Are you wearing your
Oh,
merch?
I don't have my merch. I don't have my merch on.
And I do like this. The wee touch.
Oh, you got merch in. Look at you. Way to go, Mathpig. El Pigo de Matho. Look at you go. I love it.
Is it working? I didn't get the hashtag blame Mathpig. Not quite yet. Not till it's big.
That's all right. Yeah, keep that as a separate line.
It is. I've got the hashtag blame Mathpig series, and I've got the hashtag is it working series.
Okay,
I also have a mug. Christy, I don't know if you've seen the joke from the Lucy Luxor and the God community. I bought a new fireplace surround for the house because, as I say, I'm doing up the house. And I took a picture of it. I have it in storage in my mother's house, and it's fucking massive, right? It's solid oak and all this here, right? And I took a picture of it, showed it to Lucy and God and Dave in one of the private chats, and it sort of progressed from my mother holding a picture of a solid oak fire surround to why is your mother holding your wood? And my response was the girlfriend wanted a picture of it. So it ended up getting completely blown out of proportion. So actually in the merch shop we have a mug with Robbie's Mathpig logo on one side and on the other, my mum held my wood.
My mum held my wood. And he says it just the way he says it too, right?
With your accent, my mum held my wood.
Wonderful.
Can it come in your accent?
Unfortunately not, but every time you read it, you can hear me saying, my mum held me wood.
It's so wrong.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad you got your wood held.
Yeah.
That might need therapy.
Buy the mug, people. Links in the description.
Buy the mug, yeah. Go to Mathpig's merch store. I got a line out yesterday. It's the shirt that says, "Do you even atheist, bro?"
Yeah, I see you self-shilling in the live chat. Well done, man.
And I got another one. What's that other one? I don't remember what it's called.
No king shaming, no slut shaming.
No king. Oh yeah. Because I take that as a personal attack. That's how it is.
Oh gosh, some people actually do. That's when I'm like, ooh, there's a thing I gotta.
The first time I heard the no kink shaming was when I was on Jay's channel, actually Jay was co-hosting with me, Jay from In the Conspiracy. Okay. And I don't know what we said, but he jumped in there with no kink shaming, and it just had to be rolling.
Yes, he's an advocate for kink. I like it.
Yeah. Don't be looking down on folk.
All right.
Vibrant. I see that. Pretentious agnostic.
I know. There's three very powerful personalities in here to the point where poor Vibrantly has just been left in the background.
Find any stream with him. This is classic Brantley.
That's all right.
Yeah. He has say when it's like funny, and then he leans back and he and then he's like, "Oh, I have a comment."
I have words. I got words.
Within 3 minutes of talking to him, his humor I appreciated, and the fact that he leant back within arm's reach and pulled out a Super Nintendo. No, man's cool. Daily
Atheist just went black on me.
He went black here. He's muted.
He did it to black. There he is.
Oh, you see, that's why. Man, we're all smoking.
Right.
Hippie.
There you go. If it makes you feel it.
I was like, wait a minute, did he leave us?
See, no. I'm like an old man. I've got the old man things. I'm old man.
Got some of those too.
Geezer wise.
Oh man, right, hold on, where is it? Oh yeah, there's this, right? This is how much of a handyman I am, okay? I got sick of glass bongs, okay? They kept fucking breaking on me, alright? I even went and bought one that was supposed to be indestructible that still fucking broke at me. So, where is it? I went to B&Q. Does anyone know what B&Q is?
No, but I suppose it's a
hardware store, like a big multinational hardware store, you know?
Okay.
Plumbing supplies and all that crack.
Home Depot.
Yeah.
Home Depot.
Okay.
You made it yourself.
How good is that? Now it's got a glass burner. Nice glass burner on it.
Yeah, they have glass, definitely.
But, this is
I'm
what we put in the
intimidated by your
toilets.
bong.
This is what's known as a ball cock. It's a 6-inch,
Of course it is.
6-inch ball cock made in England.
I called that one, didn't I? When I said I was intimidated by his bong.
I can now say that Mathpig has really big ball cock.
Yep, it's at least 6 inches of a ball.
Take my word for it.
He showed it to everybody.
Yep,
He showed
it's
it to
been
everyone.
stamped. It was stamped.
You know, I see some strange thing on the screen, Brother Mathpig. On the stream, I see your setting open. There you go.
What did you see?
Nothing. Whenever you popped up your settings, it was covering part of the screen.
Oh, it does that, yeah, because it automatically comes up in the same. It's in the same feed. As you know, man, screen grabbing. I'm screen grabbing.
I understood. I didn't know if you knew it was up. That's all.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, obviously, because I put my ball cock on screen.
Yeah.
I definitely knew when I flashed my big orange balls on screen.
That is what happens. I understand.
In saying that, I could go get my Dragon Balls. I actually have 3 actual Dragon Balls, and we could have them. They fit in your hand, you know. Exactly. I did that exact thing, Christy. That's why I went off camera. I was doing that with my hand to the camera and blocked my face. Oh, great minds, great minds.
Y'all ain't right. You ain't right.
Oh. So yeah, Leah, your podcast is mainly political, yeah? You do dip in and out of the atheist stream, but you would consider yourself more of a political channel.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
The main person star of the show. I know.
To cover religion and politics, it's just that it's hard to cover. There's not as many. I mean, there are. We do bring up big court cases, which happen to be political, that are, the separation of church and state is so important to me and Mac. And we try to cover as much as we can, at least at the bare minimum, to inform more people that weren't informed. I like to say that the people that pay attention to Leah are pretty informed. I like that, but I do hope that they're at least using it, saying, hey, look, if you don't want to hear it from me, hear it from someone else. And
the funny thing about
where you can find it out.
The funny thing about that is we do not have a separation of church and state here. We obviously have the Church of England.
I know that about Ireland, actually.
Suckers.
I read all about it. And
But the point I'm trying to make is, because we've had it for so long, we've not become bored of it, but we would be more cultural Christians than we would be fundamental that you would have.
Definitely. You guys have higher amounts of atheism than America per capita do. Yeah. A lot. All of Europe does. But
my girlfriend doesn't realize that she's agnostic. My girlfriend thinks she's a Christian.
You were handed to the U.S. government, let's say tomorrow. No. We would be in war in Israel trying to bring about Armageddon. Like, you don't want to give that power to this government.
Our right wing talks about that stuff anyway. I mean, whenever, not the official, but it's like in their mindset. Because it's their mindset.
Pompeo is a believer.
That's what they want, right?
He believes in the rapture. He believes that he has to help America and Iran go to battle.
Mike Pence believes in gay conversion camps. Mike Pence believes in gay conversion camps.
Mike Pence is a young Earth creationist, and he is the Vice President of the United States of America. Think about that.
Scary. Very scary. Yeah.
That's where we're at, people.
Oh yeah,
That's why we're mad, because this happened. So we got to pay attention so it never does again.
Our entire American politic has become one really, really tiny clown car with a lot of clowns in it.
It's
just a joke.
That is
one
absolute
story after another.
And people tell me, they're like, hey, you need to not be so left. You need to be more bipartisan. There's not a lot of bipartisan. It's a slippery slope, and it's not this kind of slippery slope. It's this kind of slippery slope.
I hate that argument because I can dispel it immediately.
I think
show me a policy that's bipartisan, because I'm a policy person.
Mm-hmm.
Show me one, and I will be by whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I want to see policies that work for the people. I don't care who writes them, and that they don't have an argument.
But I would agree that because of our sorry, Brantley, go on ahead.
Oh no, it's cool. I've been talking over everybody this whole time.
No, go on ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Well, he was going to say something. We should probably talk now. No, sorry, brother. I did not.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Go ahead.
God, that man talks an awful lot, doesn't he?
Point.
I know, you just talked your ear off.
Right. No. I keep thinking, like, yeah, it's all well and good that we're all electing our own president and everything, but I think just as a little experiment, we should have a vote before our election to see who the UN would want.
Or maybe just ask Russia and see who they would want.
Yeah.
Well, no. It would be nice,
China, they hold the ticket on our bank account, so
if we
would kind of inform.
We would see all of
Chris,
left governments for Bernie, all of them.
Yep. Chris, is most of the American debt not to China?
Bernie, and the more corporate, more militarized corporations, like closeness companies, that sort of situation would be more for the corporate. And it would be for either not Trump because they don't like his scary foreign policy, so they would be with the other Republican like Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it would just inform the American voter. I wouldn't want it to actually affect the election at all.
We should be for that.
Yeah,
the whole
just
world
for fun.
is watching American politics. They are.
Yeah.
So why don't we let them have a say? I mean, it wouldn't count for the vote, but it would count for information and data. I would be interested in those numbers, actually.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun, especially if we take those numbers and then just to spite them, do something different.
Stacey said, "Fuck yeah."
Just for funds.
Yeah, just for funs. Elect a socialist. What?
That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk. That's insane.
We were saying that earlier, Chris.
What was I saying?
2 years ago, if someone said blah 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 socialism, I was scared immediately that they were going to be able to win the argument again, like they did 50 years ago, saying authoritarianism. Right. But we were able to break through and be like, but no, actually, none of the books on these type of policies say anything about a leader. So it's all about how we democratize ourselves. And I think that it really worked. Now, I'm excited because I think in 4 years, as a people, we'll be even farther into making these policies happen. So by making them happen and seeing them work, people will move even farther to the left because it'll be like, here it is. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm glad we were able to dispel it because I remember 2 years ago hearing right-wing pundits saying, Venezuela. You know?
Oh, God. You might as well say the caravan. Don't forget about the caravan, Christy. That massive caravan that did not ever make it here and take over the country. Right. And I say here as if I live in America.
And remember the Ebola, right?
No, you gotta understand there are people in this country still today think that they did make it and that our military went down there and stopped it. They believe this.
Yeah, but that was like a regular occurrence that somebody just shined a line on.
Right. I know that.
Yeah.
They stopped a lot of the ways that they were being dealt with and changed it into something that caused a shit ton of harm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. On purpose.
Yeah. Right. On purpose. to hurt them, to cause harm.
You remember there was a midterm election a few years back, and it was the same time as the Ebola thing happened, and the riots on the conservative would just go, "Oh my God, Ebola! Who's going to protect you from Ebola? Ebola, Ebola, Ebola!" And then the election happened, and that was it. You never heard about it again. Just gone.
Yeah, it's very similar. I mean, if you like history, like I do.
I heard great news about Ebola. They have a Ebola vaccine now, which is awesome. It's 30% effective, which is awesome compared to no percent.
Yeah, one in three is better than fucking everybody.
Goofball. No, if you like history like I do, the Iranian hostages that were taken, Carter had them back. However,
Reagan took credit.
History and facts as we know them show that Reagan's administration stopped that from happening until he was inaugurated.
Absolutely.
So made those prisoners stay prisoners of war until he could bring them back. Like, that's how this government does shit.
Right. Robbie, where'd you find her?
Christy.
Yeah.
Christy has no.
She's everywhere.
Me and Christy, in saying that, Chris and Christy and Brantley, right? In saying that, Christy, we were talking earlier, and I know that I've known Christy for a while, but I mentioned about where my original name was, and she's like, "Oh, I know your original name." She's known me since the Math Magic Pagan days, which is 2 years ago.
Magic Pagan.
When I was first finding non sequitur.
Yeah. I contacted Christy about coming on maybe a few months ago, but in real life stuff and all that there. But she came back to me the other night on Thursday when I was having the Enoch stream with Richard. He's reading and go, "What do you think of this bit, Robbie?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck me. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Christy's just fucking tweeted at me saying she can come on this week. Shit. I'm listening, Richard, definitely.
No.
And I thought she would that's cool.
I'm in the middle of the stream and I was like, my bad. I did it. I must have been, but yeah. I was like, ding-a-ling, don't answer me then.
I can't. No, I feel the need. Like right now, I'm having a conversation in the private chat with Brantley as well as talking to you and watching the chat on the YouTube. I can't sit still. I have a constant need to be
Your daughter's probably a lot like that.
I know. It's a blessing and it's a curse. Sammy knows what I'm talking about because he's seen a private video, but yeah.
I'm also working on a wood project right now.
Are you working on your wood too?
Yeah, here's a really good 5 1/4 inch.
I wonder what you were doing with that earlier because you had that in your hand a couple of times tonight.
I was looking at the quality. It's made in US. It's a piece of trash. The weld bead is awful on it. It's like you can see it. I was thinking I have Chinese
in a factory. No human hands touch that.
I have Chinese hole saws that are better than this. America's just losing their grip. Oh, but this is what I'm making out of wood is a pop filter. A pop filter.
Right, do that again to see if there's any difference. Do that to see if there's any difference because I have both of them and only used to have one.
This is with the pop filter. Without the pop filter.
I hear no difference.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's a scam. Plus I have it, but I have a pop filter right here too. So
yeah, I kind of noticed. Yeah, I was wondering. I was actually admiring. Hey, Mathpig, Robbie, could you make him the whole screen so we could see his microphone? Because it's an interesting microphone.
I thought it was made of
his soundboard behind him. He made that too.
It glows in the dark.
Being an asshole, I actually thought the very top of that was covered in tinfoil. I didn't know why it was so shiny. I thought there was tinfoil at the top.
There we go. Yeah,
he normally wears that on his head.
Yeah.
Let's see that here. See this? People on the stream can see it.
I dig it. That's cool. Yeah, I dig it.
Boys.
Yeah, it's got the shock mount and everything. I like it. That's boys and us toys.
Okay, Chris, your turn. Show us how big's your mic, Chris. What mic are you using?
Oh, he makes mine look
I'm
puny.
sad now. I'm sad because see, this is my Blue Yeti Smoke Edition or whatever. It don't work. I'm using this little lapel mic right here.
No way.
My homie. So that didn't scare me at all. Not at all. I peed a little.
Did they not know you're live? Fuck's sake. I looked at the Blue Yeti Smoke Edition is £83 sterling over here, which would be about $100 second hand.
Yeah, it
I
died.
freaking hate blue Yetis.
Yep.
I hate Yeti. Everybody always has problems with their freaking Yeti, and I have a Samson, and I've never had a single
Yeah.
problem.
No.
Ever.
Hold on.
Nope.
I have a thing that's a mic that.
Yeah, they got you a Yeti.
Right, this is
I
mine.
do have a Yeti, but it's. No, I don't know how to connect it. I don't know.
Okay.
Everyone always brags about how great Yetis are.
This
and they
is
always
my
have
camera
problems.
and my mic, all in one.
And you're.
I have a ring light right next to it. See.
This
Oh, I
is
see.
this is mine
So it's-
here. It's
Yeah.
a Pseudotech. It is £52 off Amazon.
£52.
£52. See,
I love the way
I
you
don't
talk.
sound like that when you say it, and then I put the accent on.
No, what it is me trying to sound like you, not me trying to mock you.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah,
very.
yeah. No, I get that. It's just you're fucking awful
just-
at it. Better than some. Better than some.
Better than
shiny
some.
head, right? We're getting rid of
That's
the
all right.
shiny head.
Well, you know, this with your lighting down low in the back, this is the first time I really noticed the light flicker.
Isn't
whenever
it so
you
annoying?
move,
No,
yeah.
I'll just do that.
But she's got a ring light, so he's got.
I can change it. I mean, right now it's really warm, but if I make it cool,
Your
Or turn it-
face went green a couple of times during the live stream.
You're not just on a webcam on your laptop. You actually have a camera there. You're working good, cool.
yeah.
Awesome sauce.
Ah!
I have a some kind of lamp. It's a house lamp. It's not an actual.
I just showed mine. It's I have like a 200 watt, something like that.
Whatever
LED
that
light.
I like that.
Point
now,
at me.
Right?
Oh, it takes a minute to focus
Oh.
in. Ah, yeah.
You do not
It's just
want
on
to
a
see.
just standing on a stand.
Right? This is how awful my lamp is. Let's not talk about how fucking Art Deco my lamp is. Let's not laugh.
Nice setup.
That's got my camera and my teleprompter.
That's my lamp, right?
That's classic.
Go back. I have to show her. Because everybody's showing them their system.
That's
Oh,
glass.
I
hey.
love it. It
Look,
gives warm
They're
light.
dragonflies. They're like dragonflies.
That's
my
cool,
dad
dragonflies,
found that.
yeah.
That was left behind in a house that my dad bought to do up. That was left behind, and I needed.
Well,
he had it in the
stupid.
He
I
refused.
just do.
Well, he refuses to throw it out because he is assured that that is proper Art Deco. So it's actually worth money, and I needed a lamp for above. Now the girlfriend's gonna buy me one.
Signature on it. Because it might be done by hand. If it was done by hand, it doesn't matter what company it's from, because stained glass like that is manufactured now. It's Tiffany's does it by hand. There's a few artisans that do it by hand. It would still be worth money if it wasn't from a famous artist, if it was made by hand. So
Brother John is asking what the fuck happened to the lamp. The lamp is actually shoots all the light up. That's what the lamp does. It doesn't have a lampshade that shoots the light down. It shoots all the light up. So I have turned it round and turned it so it shoots at least some of the light down. I am getting a new lamp, which is like a giant reading lamp. Very similar to what Chris has, but not a hexagon shape, more a round shape. I will, that is in the post from Amazon. It was only £34. But as it stands, that's the fucking light I have. So...
Well, what we're doing is we're building a studio here. That's
yeah,
you know,
are
it'll
you?
look like a studio. So we're gonna put some kind of shelf thing up there. We're gonna put some box things on the wall there, and we're gonna move it up closer. So like whenever you see Nick Nimmons' channel or those people on how to build a YouTube channel, that's kind of studio we're gonna try to build. I mean, I've got a lot of compliments on the videos about the production quality.
Yes,
That's-
I heard that the other night.
you-
Even what stream was it? Somebody even mentioned that this guy's got his shit together. Neil's stream,
Try it.
was it?
Right, trying it. So that's my plan of doom and despair.
Fuck yeah, I get very little.
Better lights.
I get very little compliments in my production and my actual. Just to say, shout out to Eases and Works, who was in the chat earlier, who may have left. That man spent a full month doing the PigSty background that I use as the background. He spent
I do like it.
He
Looks like
spent
he's
a
still
full month
hanging.
doing that and did me 3 different versions. And yeah, no, big shout out to him. Shout out to Peter from Gonna Go For It as well. He did the introduction. The
He
backing
did
music.
my introduction when I did the This Is Our America.
Yeah.
He's amazing, isn't he? His work is
the background music. That's a shout out to Eyes for Empties.
Introduction. The whole stream. It was like what you would see the whole stream: a fire crackling. Mr. Bean, my dog, was on the sofa. It was amazing. It was like in a luxury like house that you'd rent out in Colorado. It was awesome. It was a picture of me above the fireplace. He did all of that on his own. It was a lot of like. It looked like the elite lived there for sure, but it was fun. It was fun. The fire move.
I don't
Peter
know.
did that.
There's a
Peter's
person
so
in the background music that everybody can hear. The people in the actual stream yards can't hear it, but it's
Yeah,
running on the
turn it
YouTube stream. That's a shout out to Eyes for Empties. He's done me one. He's making me a new one and a few new backing tracks. So I just want to say thank you for the people who do help this channel be who it is. Like, you know, Christy, this wouldn't have been anything without you. There has been very few streams that it's just me. You know, I can talk to people, but it's hard to talk on my own. And,
okay. So, sorry.
No, go on ahead, Chris. I talk too much.
No, I thought you were done. My bad.
No, it's okay. Look, where is it? This is what we do when I talk too much. You watching?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I thought you were in kick, Chris.
No, I'm hiding. I talk too much.
She's sharing some lung matter with her screen. That's cool.
She's trying not to laugh because I'm hilarious. You were saying, Chris.
What's that, brother?
You were saying, go on ahead.
Oh, you know, as I look over here, I went to subscribe to Leah, and I actually am already subscribed.
You didn't hit that bell, did you?
No, I did not hit the bell.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't
hit that bell.
Why did I not hit the bell? Did I not hit the bell? Oh, it says personalized. I don't know what that means. I don't know why. Okay, now I've got.
You upgraded, and now you have more options, but they don't mean anything. You have to have the bell for all or none, because the middle part doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
like,
personalized.
I did all. I did all.
Personalized means that if you go into the video and hit like, it'll be in your home feed more often. That's all that is.
Yeah, it doesn't mean geo.
No, hit the bell, and then if it pops up in your inbox, if you have a smartphone, you literally swipe right if you're not in the mood for it, and it'll appear in your feed later to look at. It's very simple.
That's just the opposite of a dating website.
I don't understand. A lot of people have problems with Discord. A lot of people have problems with. I think that the main problem is notifications. People don't manage their notifications enough.
Swiping right.
I got it, Brent.
Good.
I appreciated that. Carry on, Robbie. Just think of yourself. Carry on.
It's my fucking channel, so it's my channel. I'll do what I want. What is it? Who come up with it's my birthday and I'll cry if I want to?
Really keeping the reins on.
Chris, you go on ahead. I would mute, only it puts a big thing up in the middle of the screen saying you're muted, so I'll go back to this.
Okay. I feel like you're creeping up on me.
No, this is creeping up on you. This is creeping up on you.
Yeah. Don't make eye contact.
This is just me relaxing, you know, right? I'm hiding there. Go on ahead there. Go on ahead.
You're on, yeah.
Go on ahead.
Yeah. Way down real low, it kind of looks like a baby's face. Peeking around the corner with the top hat on.
And the wonderful thing about this function is, and I'll say this and then I'll be quiet, but the wonderful function about this thing is yeah, Chris, go on ahead.
Straight from the devil.
I'm playing. Chris, go on ahead. If you don't speak in 3 seconds, I'll have to fill the gap of the audio silence to talk some more. All right, so go.
No thinking.
Here we go. No thinking. I don't think I am talking. Now I am talking. I'm talking to the lady. It's all that.
Chris, you were thinking about talking more about politics. This channel is about Leah's is about politics. She's been talking politics all night, and you come on, and I read the private chat. I've no idea what's going on, and all you wanted to talk about was politics and try to hold yourself back. So go free with your politics, Chris. Shout about your politics.
I will. So, yeah, we were talking about doing the politics. I'm thinking about running a night show, and I think I might do politics. I'm not sure. See?
I'll be down to be there in the chat. Like,
see?
Well, that was very precise.
Cover the caucus.
Cover the caucus.
Well, you know, today we had Devin Graham from Florida. and they're trying to push a bill through to force people to do the thing. So that's kind of what they're into.
Florida's got some really shitty things that are trying to pass through right now. 3 of them have to do with taking the rights away. Not a blanket, but it gives religious people the rights to take away rights of people who fall in LGBTQIA+. Right. And they're written out as like that. And they're not even trying to hide it. It's just you're taking away our religious freedom to be bigoted towards the people we don't want to like. Right. And it's written. It's so crazy. And if they pass it, that makes me think that I live in a state with people that are just hateful. And that
are you in Florida? I didn't know you were in Florida. That creates a negative pressure environment.
My heart. I don't feel like the state is that way. I just don't. There have been people. They're always older. Once in a while, if they were younger, it was because they still lived at home with their bigoted older parents. They haven't experienced life yet. And I don't think that, for the most part, people are bigoted and hateful. I just don't. I think that there are pockets of it, and there are pockets of ignorance. And I happen to be in the South, so there are bigger pockets. And
no, there's plenty of ignorance up here.
Idaho was designed as a white ethno state. That's how it was created.
Yeah, that's why it's that shape.
There's that.
Oh, I was going to just say my state is only passing good laws recently. Like, we're trying to get a law passed right now that makes it so out-of-state residents also don't need a concealed carry permit to carry a handgun.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
So anybody can do it.
So anyone from out of state. Yeah. So it's like, it's fun. It's fun because you have to like watch yourself like constantly, always living in fear of your neighbors. It's awesome.
I like to hear the people on the gun people talk about how they enjoyed it back, that they would have loved to live in the Wild West because blah, 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 the guns. But as this lady here said, for those who like their history,
STD,
the White Earp and the OK Corral, that whole thing went down because guns. They were trying to take the
and syphilis.
We can't leave syphilis out. It's fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
Or give the gift that keeps on giving. Herpes.
Oh yeah.
For me to get guns over here.
That was like what the OK Corral really was.
Yeah. So that when they learn those kind of things.
The OK Corral through the viewpoint of the whorehouse.
Yes.
There would be some real cool stories that I would definitely be interested in. Though.
Right. How many times do you think they said it burns when I pee?
Oh, and I mean, syphilis.
People died of that.
So how many of these people were infected with syphilis and were just crazy because that's what it does to you?
True.
All of them.
Yeah, a good many. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Raise of hands who grew up with lead in their gasoline.
Well, at the end, yeah.
That car that I mentioned earlier that I bought for the daughter, it is actually that old that it still actually has leaded valves in it. I have to change them to unleaded fuel, and it'll probably take me that long that I'll have to convert the fucking thing to electric. But it still actually has. I own a car that will only run unleaded fuel.
We were just talking about crazy brain disorders, so I figured I'd just throw that out there.
Well, that was proven. So it's not a crazy brain disorder. It's a proven fact.
But the petrol industry fought it, right? The car industry, fought it.
Yeah, same as the cigarette
Rightfully so.
Yes.
First they go after our leaded paint and then our leaded gas. That's bullshit.
I know, right? Sure missed those lead paint chips.
I usually do a summary in the description.
They don't taste as good
now.
How
am I going to contain all that we have covered tonight in one fucking
You can't.
I'm just going to write, we talked to Christy. Have you met her?
Topic stew.
Have you met Christy? This is...
My parents were talking about how much stupidity is in the White House right now, and I brought up leaded gasoline, and they're like, "Well, I don't think that's what it was."
That's a good point. Leaded gasoline, huh?
It kind of lines up time-wise.
There's so much to take into consideration.
And the fluoride in the water.
There's a video from the Royal Institution that came out the other day on YouTube. I don't know if you've watched the Royal Institution. It's a very good website.
We're American, of course not.
Yeah. You should watch the Royal Institution on YouTube, man. All right, they did one.
I do.
Good, yes, I do.
Did you see the Boomer Economics one that they did the other day?
No, not yet. I'm like 6 behind right now.
It is really, really good. It was very informative as well, and it really did break down because it, as you said earlier, Christy, about this, that, and the other. This makes it black and white, but nothing's black and white. He goes into an awful lot of the grey. He does go into an awful lot of the grey on it. It's important to break it down and we can't fix things if we don't understand how we got to where we are. And the question that I always find is most beneficial: who's benefiting from this particular system? Well, as it stands now
Who's
in the UK,
lobbying for this system?
As it stands now in the UK, do you know who benefits the most from the way it worked out and the boomers and all that there? If you watch that RI and take it for its consideration, the pensioners. The pensioners the pensioners on the social benefits that they have over here are making the same amount of money as a person between the ages of 18 and 25 in a full-time job. Which is both good and bad. You can't associate being old with being poor anymore, but when you're old you don't have to cover an awful lot of your daily costs. You know, you get your pension, you get your bus pass, you get all that stuff. But for a young person, you do. And for a young person, you're trying to get on.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, so it's not necessity to say when you're old, you're poor. But it is still 20,000 a year is not an awful lot.
I just brought something up to Christy yesterday that it's a shame that kids working in high school, like under 18, have to pay taxes because they're not represented anyway. It's what is that called? Taxation without
representation.
Oh, I was going to say T in the harder.
If you have to be 16 to work, you have to be 16 to vote. If you're working and paying taxes, you should have a say in who represents you. Period. Many other countries have lowered their voting age to 16. I find that when I was in high school and taking government classes and taking tests on, I forgot more than I know now on that. What a great time to get them in the habit of voting.
Yes, but you see the problem with that is, Christy, as well. The problem I would find with that as well, between the ages of 13 and 16, you can also be in that hormonal stage. You can be rebelling. You are in
that stage.
Yes. So it can go both directions.
It would be definitely a challenge to take on for public schools.
I know they can go both directions with any age group.
Job to prepare them.
Yeah, I don't know. Can I
something like that? We might actually have to fund education, and
yes, that's what I was trying to get to.
See, this guy, words are coming out of his mouth I don't understand. It's like English, but not English. Yeah, I don't get it.
Brantley made the point that I'm trying to make. All right, sorry to interrupt, but Brantley made the point that I'm trying to make. I agree with everything that Christy is saying, but the problem behind that is the education system isn't there to teach the kids. Whenever you give that power to kids who are uneducated, there is a better chance that they will go with the rhetoric than the education, which will take them to the other side. So I would agree with everything that Christy is saying, but you need a foundation of education.
Teach policy.
Yes. Have speakers come in. I'm for the Finland way, which our last podcast on Leah, I really went deep dive into Finland's policies that they're doing right now for homeless. And one of my favorite things about Finland is they are #1 in education on the planet. They made private schools illegal. There's no private schools in the entire country. And they're in the happiest index. They're #1 this year, 2019. They what they did for school was they looked around the world and they used data, what's working and what isn't. Da-da! They found that America uses the housing market and warehouses are located as their tax system. So the schools in poor areas are poor schools, and nothing has to be done about it. And the schools in very wealthy neighborhoods are very well-funded schools, and nothing has to be done about it. Finland said, well, we don't agree with that. That creates a class struggle. I don't want to do that to our country in the future. I would rather the billionaire's kid go to school with, the grocery store worker's kid. So when he grows up, it's harder for him when he takes over those businesses that are going to be handed down to him to shit on his friend, or at least the guy that he knows of and went to school with. Like, oh, those are the people those are my people. It's harder. And so they said that can't happen. When we do taxes for education, it's going to come in as a national thing. And nationally, this is the curriculum. And nationally, these are our goals. And the teachers get paid like $120 starting a year. Like you have to have not just 4 years. It's like a 7-year program to become a teacher in Finland, because you're taking psychology. You have other teachers below you to help you. There's like 4 adults for every class. They really kick this into high gear, because what really is important to a nation? Well, a nation isn't a nation if you don't worry about your future. Anything could happen in the future. So to make sure that you do, and you have people that will be like, no, my nation's the best, I will fight for you. Well,
we can't do that though.
Of them, you invest in them. And that's what
I can't have some smart ass kid coming after my well-earned job.
At McDonald's.
At McDonald's, yeah.
Hey, I'm stacking paper all day.
I have to say now,
it's a living.
The way it is over here, I did go to school with 2 people who came from families very well off. And they have an awful lot of money. They were born into richness. They got their first car paid for them. They're driving around in Mercedes. One of them I actually always thought was very funny, because his nickname in high school was Bubbles. I don't know where it came from, but we called him Bubbles. And when he got out, his daddy bought him a brand new Audi A5, or not an Audi A5, an Audi Q5, like the Jeep. And he went and bought a personal license plate that said Bubbles if you put a screw in a certain place, because you're not allowed certain words. So when the screw was placed in the certain place, it covered the word. He got pulled on it 4 times, got taken to court, and was put it back to standard writing. And when it was in standard writing and you looked at it at a glance, it said Bibles.
Yes, that's awesome.
Which was funny as hell. But as Christy says, the fact that he was come from money, he's driving in a car paid for him, in a job that was handed to him. And I'm working my ass off 48 hours a week, and he would still come in, he would still talk to me, he would acknowledge me. He was a bit stuck up his own ass and still a bit hoity-toity, but he would always say hello, and it did bring, the money and the non-money together. Like I'm single parent.
Yeah, I don't think the way forward, a lot of places in my country are doing it wrong. I don't think that the left is doing it right when they condemn these people who, through no fault of their own, were
of course
in a wealthy family. It's not their fault. It is our responsibility as a society, though, to make sure that we're all understanding that, yes, you were born 7 steps ahead of where this person was. And that's your starting points in life. So you will always, it'll be easier for you. But to acknowledge that and use that to look behind you and reach out that way. I just think that's so important to teach all of the young kids of this country. All countries. I mean, Finland thinks that it's the government's job to take care of them.
Would I be right in saying that Finland also doesn't put their kids into mainstream school until they're 5 and 6? They let a kid be a kid? Or is that Switzerland or one of them countries in Europe? There's also another country in Europe that gives the father and the mother 2 years off that they can split between them.
Yeah.
Maternity
Finland.
leave. Do you know how long I got? 2 weeks.
Finland lets you stagger out your weeks off.
We don't
They get 4 weeks in the summer and 1 week in the winter, no matter who you are. If you've been at 2 weeks in the winter and 4 weeks in the summer, so 2 parents can stagger those in the summer and be at home pretty much the whole summer with them. And this is mandated per the state, federal. Yeah. You are paid for these days if you had a job for 1 year.
Full pay. I got 2 weeks. I I get 2 weeks at full pay. That's all we get here. Now, in saying that, my girlfriend did get a full year. She gets a year with a half full pay and a half of it half pay or less than half pay. But the first 6 months is full pay, and she takes a full year off. That's fine. But for a man, it's I want to be around the wee girl.
I know you, the wee girl. You heard him.
We don't even get 2 weeks in America for that shit. We get
nothing is guaranteed. It's up to the
nothing.
corporation what they decide.
That is
it's up to the company you work for if they want to give you time off at all. Even if you're a woman, they can just let you go in my state.
At the company I work for, the maintenance man and his wife recently had a baby. Well, I guess about 4 months ago, and he used 2 weeks of his vacation.
Oh yeah, that's
so he could
better
be off.
than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of the point.
But
in their country, he wouldn't have had to do that.
Why would
here?
I
the
used
man doesn't want to be there? Like, why is that assumed? Maybe that's a question we need to all think about too. Why is it assumed that the dad doesn't want to be there? It's just assumed by corporations. Why?
Well,
Why?
it's because
if you're a human
stand out
child, you get this many days off. It's a human thing. That's
it's because during childbirth, we're in the waiting room smoking cigars.
I mean, that part's true. But now,
Brantley, just as you actually say that, I know you're trying to make a joke and stuff and all, but I actually missed the entire birth. I arrived at the hospital and walked through the front door at the same time that my wee girl was born and came out of my woman. At the same time,
my dad was duck hunting when I was born.
Well, me and my woman actually broke up for 6 months during the pregnancy because, as Christy knows, as I said to her earlier, me and her it was a very short relationship before we came pregnant. And it was just figuring stuff out and getting to know each other and stuff like that. And
you're a whore.
I'm not a whore.
A whore.
What the hell's a whore?
It's still the best relationship I've ever been in my life because we talk and communicate. But we broke up for 6 months during it. I was there for every doctor's appointment. I drove 2 hours up the road, did the 15 minutes in the doctor's, and then drove fucking 2 hours home again. Don't laugh at me. It was so tedious. So tedious. She wouldn't even let me in at the house at the time. We were falling out, wouldn't talk. But the baby was born on February the 28th at 20 to 9. She was 7 pounds 8 ounces, just to make sure everybody knows. And I remember. And between February 28th and June the 11th, I could not be around my wee girl enough. And my woman realised I would not leave, would not go anywhere, and was there. So we got back together and we've been good ever since. But
he's a sweetie.
Pardon?
You're a sweetie.
Yeah, you just fell in love with her. And
I just have a different take when it comes to children. I mean, my sister just had a second kid, and both times she got pregnant, they had to try. They had to go to get in all the procedures and shit done. And both times when she told me that she was knocked up, I was like, I can drive you. If you need to drive to the place, I can take you to the place if you need to drive.
For the first 3 weeks that I found out that we were pregnant.
I'm such a dick.
No, it's funny, because as you say that, man, and I'm not trying to be a dick in the statement I say, because some people find it easy and have accidents, and some people it is difficult for. But my woman misjudged the time she had the implant in the arm. Do you know of the implant? Birth control?
Yeah.
She'd mistimed it.
Dart.
She'd mistimed it, and then when she went to the doctor and checked, she had forgot to get it replaced because it was out of date. And for the first 3 weeks of us being pregnant, I was sure I had super sperm. I was like, yep, she's unpregnant. I busted through awesome. Even the fucking pregnant. No, super sperm.
You're dancing around and have Superman sperm.
Not joking, Christy. That precise dance. You know the groove where you do the arms out in front of you now? Oh yeah, super sperm. Fucking tiny.
That's hilarious.
No, just misjudgment of birth control. That's all.
Like, take that, lady. Take that.
They can't.
Well, you are the really super. What is it you call yourself, Chris? The super atheist, super Chris, or something?
The amazing super Chris.
The amazing super Chris.
Yes.
It sounds like Super Christ.
Pretty close. It is, I mean, it's super Christopher if you want to push it.
Does Christ have a font? Because you could make a logo and use that font.
Mine is Christ. Christy.
Christy. See? Yeah. That's
is
right.
A little bit Christy.
So
technically, in that, there's some irony in the fact that, in a way, we're both named after,
yes,
and yet we're both absolutely against.
Yep. That's
I think
My name is Robbie, and it means famous or crowned.
It means Christian. Christine means Christian.
That's he was saying his
Christian
name.
girl.
Oh no, my name. Because we both know now after talking about. Yes, back to me. So enough about you. Right. Back to me. What do you think of
his
me?
channel?
What beat me to it.
I was going to say it.
The next question I was going to ask was, what does Brantley mean?
It's a type of goose, and Brantley means shit. Brant is my real name, just Brant. But Brant doesn't rhyme with vibrantly, so I was like, fuck it, Brantley.
And why did you go with vibrantly?
Because it's YouTube and trash.
You are vibrant. I would say vibrant, effervescent.
Yeah. You should hear about all the dark shit I talk about on my own channel.
Why we only
please
see a small corner.
like and subscribe, ring the bell.
There you go.
That's why we only see a
Check
small
out my
corner.
future Etsy.
There's a giant cupboard of skeletons behind the camera. I bet you the room's bigger than what it actually looks like.
It probably is.
All them skeletons. Yeah.
You mean the dead bodies in the basement?
Did you wrap them in plastic and cover them in lime?
It's the smell.
No, that's why you wrap them in plastic and cover them in lime. That's the first thing, man. You need to keep the smell down. But the police
the neighbors start to wonder.
Speaking of police catching you, back to the conversation about the guns that we were talking about in the private chat, Brantley. For me to get guns here, I had to go through 2 background checks. One by the police, one by the gun shop. The police then had to clear my background check and actually come and check my house for it to make sure that I had a steel gun cabinet.
What did you do?
No, this is the law here.
I know, I'm just fucking with you.
They had to then come to the house to make sure that I had a steel gun cabinet that was bolted by a minimum of 4 bolts to a concrete wall inside the house, not the garage, inside the house. And they had to come and inspect that before I could even get permission to take the guns from the gun shop to my house. It's very, very checked here. And if I wanted an actual proper full scale, I have an air rifle, but if I wanted a 2.2 proper rifle, or if I wanted a 9mm, I would have to join a gun club and be registered with the gun club. It's okay to get guns here, but you go through a lot of checks, and I don't have a problem with that. You know,
Right. That's what us smart Americans say to all of the dinglings who say, America, fuck yeah. Don't take
But then how do you protect yourself?
Your freedom. We're just making sure that bad people don't get them.
From all the Al-Qaedas. You know?
Mexicans, the rapists.
They're coming for our women to burn our... They're going to burn our women and rape our churches.
Picking our jobs.
Force their damn atheism on us.
I don't think
that...
Yep.
And the secular...
smaller population than ever, I think, in the history of our country.
Well, I have to say...
but on a smaller population than ever before, just like the... if you go back and watch any footage pre-Iraq war, pre-Iraq invasion, there is nobody saying... Being pro-peace, there is nobody that is not beating the drums on every news source. However, obscurely, Noam Chomsky, Chris Hedges, there were people speaking out against it. You just they would never be voted on. This time, like just pre-Venezuela,
the internet,
people came in the streets to say, no, we're not going to war with Venezuela. We have had anti-war marches in this country, but after Vietnam had been a thing for so long, for so many years, not pre-Vietnam, not pre-Iraq. So even though I do feel a lot of times like, oh my God, we're so fucked, I do have to think we are a massive amount of people, and to get us all on board does take us being actually organized and like paying attention. So we have to do that. And I think that when I think of it that way and see how far we have come, that we've had people out on every channel being anti going to war with Iran, anti going to war with Venezuela loudly and calling for other people while they're live to show up at blah, blah, blah to protest the war. Like, that's, I do have to say, okay, so we're headed the right way. It'll all be
Hey, Mathpig, do you want people to like this stream?
They can like. Oh.
I just realized I haven't yet.
Oh, like, unlike. Chris owes me an unlike, so Chris is allowed to unlike the video because I've unliked a few of his just because he whinges that nobody unlikes them, so I unlike them to make him feel better.
Perfect.
You gotta take one for the team sometime.
Oh yeah. So feel free to unlike if you want. Any interaction is interaction. Comment, like, subscribe. You know, do all that thing. At the end of the day, the only thing that counts at the end of the day is view time. So the fact that you're here and you're watching, I appreciate everybody. The 15 people here watching, fuck knows why you're here. Oh no, I do. I have a great accent. Christy's great looking, Brantley's a stranger, and Chris is fun.
I smell good.
You know, I know why you're here, but thanks everybody. You know, thanks. Loads.
Yeah.
And I'm a danger.
Yes.
He's also very vibrant.
You've kidnapped somebody, Brent.
Whatever.
Just to say, out into the chat, right? I'm getting wee tweets and stuff about this here at the minute in Discord messages. Dave Con, any UK viewers, right? Dave Con, I'm looking 7 other people to rent a luxury apartment with. It works out £410 for 2 nights. That's the night before the conference and the day of the conference, which means we can go home, stay over after the conference, maybe have an after party, and then get up the next day and leave whenever you want. It works out £410 for 8 people for 2 nights, which is a little over 25 quid a night. You tell me a fucking hotel you're going to find for that price. And I'm talking marble kitchen, massive living room. It's beside Tarbridge. It's a Tarbridge apartment. That's
Does it have a bidet?
I don't know if it has a bidet. We've got toilet paper, okay? We'll buy 4-ply toilet paper.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, but if there's any UK viewers here, if anybody wants to throw it out, shout it out, tweet it out, I'm looking 7 other people. I've got maybe 3, which means we need 5 other people. And nobody's going to find this sort of quality for £25 a night. I'm happy to put the deposit up. If you're trustworthy, give me your name, give me your address so I can hunt you down and shoot you if you don't. But if you're willing to give me some trust, I'm willing to trust you. And yeah, don't get shot in the ass.
Yeah, it'll hurt. That sucks.
It fucking hurt. And
nobody wants to spend an afternoon like that. Nobody.
Yeah, I talk about guns. Do you know why I got guns? Because my dad's had them for 20 years and he was deciding to give them up. And I looked at my wee girl's ginger hair coming through and realised boyfriends, good idea. I took his guns on.
Yes.
They don't even have to be loaded. You just walk to the door.
Oh, no. Seriously. They do have to be loaded. I got a shotgun and I got an air rifle, and I spent the entire summer of last year. I am now good with 30 meters to 40 meters with that air rifle. Now, it's only an air rifle, so if you get shot in the ass, you'll get a bruise, you might bleed for a bit. You'll know not to cross me again. You'll not die, and I can't get done by the police. I'll get a warning, but you'll know not to die. You'll know not to cross me.
What about archery? Do you need to go through all those same steps if you want to have like a 70-pound compound bow?
I have a Safari 2 compound bow up the stairs with a crossbow target. I learned that before the gun.
Nice.
Clearly a legitimate question.
And had an
I was
answer.
going to ask the same thing.
And in Vibrantly and me in the same mindset, I started with the archery and then moved on to the gun. The reason I started with the archery is because you cost so much buying arrows. You lose so many arrows.
Yeah,
you can get 160 pellets for a $5 for the air gun. 160 shots for a $5. That's one arrow.
I've had one quiver of arrows since I was like, I don't know, 20. I don't lose them. I have a target.
I have a target. I lose them.
I can hit. That's a point. Is I can hit my target.
So
I'm full of shit. I've lost.
Yeah, he thinks he's smart arse, doesn't he?
Oh, mute my shit, huh? I see what you did there.
Of the day, Brantley, at the end of the day, if you get kicked and brought back on, it means I love you.
Oh. If I get kicked and nothing happens, that means I'm fucked.
Yeah, well, right. No, I'll kick you and leave you in the background because reasons. and then you can leave or come back. You know, we'll decide yet. You haven't hit that bridge yet. I'm appreciating your
like
content.
my parents.
Is that philosophy written in the background on just a piece of paper?
Yeah, that way I can say I read philosophy every day.
There you go.
Why is Christy shaking her head?
Because it's overdone.
In all honesty, Brantley, I was for a while trying to get... Now, I know my philosophy 101, but I'd like to bring it up to a 105. And I was looking someone to do a show with me. I was trying to get a theist, an atheist, and I'm an agnostic. So if we can get the 3 points of view, you know...
No, that's the extent I know of philosophy. That's it. That's all there is.
Right, okay.
So, I...
Yeah, we're just going to do that again.
He reads the word philosophy every day.
Yes, I read philosophy every day.
At least he's cultured.
Oh,
see?
Oh, I see the point. I see the joke. But
yes,
you know, we're
is
missing the
joke.
drum track. But bump. If you'd have done that afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
I admire it. No, it's good.
Awkward.
Yeah, you.
I told
the crack,
that
man.
Nick
You ruined the
guy.
crack.
That Nick guy liked it. I told him on Twitter, the philosopher. He has a PhD in philosophy, but I told him that. I was like, yeah, and showed him the picture. He thought it was pretty funny.
It's good.
Yeah, that's all right. It has some chick tracks up there too.
I didn't actually. If it wasn't for Christy, she pointed it out because I couldn't see what it was. Had it not been for that, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Good eye.
Philosophy.
Yeah, you just ruined everything, Brantley, didn't you? There was a whole banter stream going on. What is that, a pink unicorn?
It's a candle that melts and reveals a skeleton of a unicorn.
Because,
all.
of course, unicorns have skeletons.
Right.
It's pretty dope. I like it. I can't wait to give it to somebody. Not in the box. I'll give it to him as a candle. So yeah, I like prop comedy.
I'm just waiting for you now that you said that to bring out like a 7-foot black dildo or something and just freak everybody out.
No, you already showed your cock and ball.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it's not quite 7 foot. It's only 6 inches.
Nobody will ever top that.
Yeah, but it had a pipe. There was.
It had
You
a
saw the
glass
ball.
down pipe.
It was. Yeah. There was. Yeah, it was a well hung ball. Am I
You
wrong?
need one when
Oh.
it's that good.
Very orange.
Very orange.
I still see flashes of orange.
Oh yeah, you have to go down that route. You know, you have to go down that route.
I love that you got
Emotionally
it all at
damaged.
a hardware store and made your own.
Oh, you should have seen the woman's face because see the actual piece of black piping that's coming out of that. That's not the minimum you can buy. The minimum you can buy is 5 meters long. So I bought a giant orange ball cock. I bought 5 meters of black piping. I also bought some sticky putty because I was hoping to seal it at the top, but I got it to work without the putty.
Right.
And that's what I went to the counter with. So 5 meters of black piping.
No, she was
and
like,
Yeah.
First date.
When I was a kid, we just made pipes out of wood because we're lame.
Too cheap for real pipes. We made them.
Well, actually, we did go to the hardware store one time and buy a bunch of brass components,
Oh.
but it tasted like shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brass is very hot.
probably burnt your fingers.
Whatever. We were kids. We didn't care.
As you say that, man, on the way home one day from work, there was a tree had blown down in a storm and blocked the road. And I was in the van at the time, and fuck me for taking a 15-mile detour to get home, which was a half a mile from where the tree fell. So I took some rope out of the boot, tied it to the tree, tied it to the back of the van, and that damn thing did a wheelie, you know. But I got it the fuck out of the road, and then I went back at 12 o'clock that night, and I cut it up with a chainsaw, took it home in the van, and used it for free firewood for about 3 months. I kept
Nice.
kept
You were like the gift.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kept one of them blocks of wood and carved it down into a pipe and into the shape of a pipe, and I have that pipe still
As
up the stairs in
any
the
true
drawer.
pothead would.
Fuck off with the wood jokes. The point was, It was a tree that fell down right beside my house, and
No,
I
the
kept
point
it.
of the story actually is not that. It's that you're a podcast.
What was she saying?
I've never in my life seen Christy kicked.
No, Mr. Atheist kicked me off the very first time he did like people coming in. Yeah, twice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like that kid. I just don't.
Hilarious.
But
you are
I don't like him, but I still watch him. And I still support, like, I still like what he does and stuff. I just don't like him, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, he does
Then-
fundraisers and stuff, and I like those fundraisers. I just don't like him.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Same with like that Westbrook guy. Holy Kool-Aids. There's just something about him that makes me go, you're kind of cringy, but I like you.
Holy Kool-Aid, I don't have hit the bell. I haven't personalized. I will pick and choose what I watch. But it is very, very good. I thought the video that he did after that guy got speared for going to that island was very, very... It was poignant, emotional. It struck you because he was raised in that sort of environment. And I thought his video about that guy getting killed was the best out of the entire community.
I think it was the best out of all of them across any community.
Yeah, didn't watch it.
Took it from right or wrong opinion to human, very human. I love the way he does that.
Yeah, I mean, he's the type of guy that you might blow, but not necessarily get to know.
I don't know where to go with that. I'm just I'm gonna do this again. The sort of
I just don't know who.
Make a big deal about
Was
it.
he talking to me or
Make a
Mathpig?
big deal. Yeah, all right.
Brantley blows, but let's not make a big thing about it.
Let's make a big deal about it.
We lost Christy. Oh, she's back. I thought she got on her knees there for a second.
Right when Randolph shows up,
She
he
changed
just
the
got
shade.
here. Randolph literally just stepped into that.
Yeah, I know
Randolph,
because I said.
Where
I
have you
said
been, man?
Welcome, Randolph. Thanks
Welcome.
for turning up.
Finally
He
showing
does
up.
networking.
If you want to do so, if you want to join Randolph, the link's in the chat above your head. Not above your head. I'm thinking everything is up. Suddenly I'm a flat earther and Australia doesn't exist.
It doesn't,
It doesn't.
and it's in the future.
The one
You're-
question
Luckily,
I have
all
about
those
it,
animals aren't dying.
True.
what
You're
brand
telling
of
me you live in the future, but you exist.
what brand of Velcro are
Right.
they using to stay on? Because that shit's been lasting for a while.
I know, right? It's on their shoes. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
keeps
bought
them from
Velcro,
falling
man,
off.
and I don't know anyone who has a pet, but if you've got Velcro on a pet, that shit gives up after about a month.
One day you'll have to have me back on if you like history, like I do.
Chris,
I do.
I'll have you back on next week
I
or the
like
week after.
Australian history. Like I find it fucking fascinating. I love that it was a penal colony and that it was full of all of this indigenous culture.
Hold on,
and
stop a
there's
second,
just
stop a second,
no
stop a
room for
second.
So much history right there.
Velcro,
Yeah, she said peanut
Velcro
gallery.
was an indigenous population?
Yes.
I lost you there for a second. I said you're welcome back anytime, and then when I come back on, you went from Velcro. It's definitely an indigenous population. I'm like, what? Like that?
What did you
Well-
miss? All of it?
I heard it. I heard her talking. She was the
Right.
words. I got the words.
The
I
thing
heard
with
she
the
had the
stuff-
best words.
You got to keep up.
It made sense to me,
Right? Yeah.
but I'm an idiot, so.
She was talking about them Austrians over there with the little koala bears. Yes.
Australia.
And the indigenous. Well, I said Austrians on purpose because I was being.
Is it late
ignorant.
enough
Yeah,
for you to
I'm
have?
polar bears.
Australia has a very rich history too. I mean, kings and queens and
Oh yeah, yeah.
very
I
rich history.
fucking-
I love world history. There's,
Fucking
I mean, we
hated history.
know everything about what could possibly happen by learning about all that has already happened.
In my
I like learning about Antarctica's history
Oh, you
because
do.
it's brief.
not if you read the ice course.
Yeah.
That's true, right? But
Oh,
they're
and
just not as gripping as like Mary Shelley.
That there are aliens there. There are government
Hitler.
There's conspiracy scientist hideout.
Wait. There's a hole there. There's a hole there that goes into the underworld where the Germans went. That's where the Nazis are.
That's where the Nazis are. Did you not see the movie, man? There's a full-blown
we saw the movie.
where
and it
I've
teleports them to the moon,
right? It's a documentary.
Are you talking about the same
insulting
movie
that
where they
shit.
cloned Hitler and they have his floating head inside robot bodies?
See?
Yes.
See?
People
Moon Nazis.
No, Antarctica Nazis. They lived inside the Antarctic.
Yes.
That's where they hid.
You know, as a despot,
With
I think he was really
dinosaurs.
well, but as like the head of an actual creature that was fighting, I just don't see Hitler being the guy.
I think
I see him kind of pissing himself and running away.
We're missing out Jay. Where's Jay? We need ETC here. Where's Jay?
Yeah, Hitler was a little bitch.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Christy,
You just-
yes, very much into history.
You just follow the trail of urine to where he was hiding.
Yes.
Do you know what's
That's how I-
funny?
And you think about Trump. Trump would be hiding.
Absolutely true.
In high school,
Yep.
when we were doing our first real major education, we've GCSEs, then you have A levels, and your A levels are what made the point when you went to university. But GCSEs relative to A levels, we had a choice of geography or history. You could only do one or the other, and I
Good.
fucking hated the
diabetes
both of them.
up.
I could not stand the teachers in either the geography class or the history class. Hated them both. Flipped a coin. History won. I spent a week and a half in history and had to leave because Mrs. Blakely, yes, I will shout you out, woman. Mrs. Blakely, 1990s, Murray High School.
Wow.
Bitch of a woman. Couldn't stand the fucking woman. First day when I walked in, she was like, oh, I didn't think I'd see you coming back. Yeah, a week later, I fucking left and went and did geography. But when I left high school and I left university, history became so interesting. So interesting. The Byzantine Empire, Constantine, all that there. I went... the Egyptians, I went down... I got big into my Stargate SG-1. So that led me down... Yeah, Stargate SG-1. So that led me down the route of the whole Egyptian gods. And I'm still trying to convince my woman that I do want to... I want Seth as a middle... as our wee boy's name as a middle name. I think it's cool. I think Seth is a class name.
I was smart, didn't waste my time, and dropped out in 9th grade.
And the sunglasses appeared out of nowhere.
Wiley Coyote.
I
was.
Have you got a mic anywhere? Oh yes. Can you drop your mic? You should just push it down as soon as you've done that. Sunglasses on.
I should
Drop
have.
them.
I
Oh,
should
yeah.
have dropped
You
it,
should,
but it's.
Oh.
I can't afford another mic.
Alien versus
I having so much fun tonight. This has been. Now I knew this was gonna go well, but yeah.
I was telling Christy to watch Stargate. Just wasn't I telling you to watch Stargate? Like you need to watch this movie.
Stargate was wonderful. The series.
Yeah.
The movie's a
The
little hard.
movie.
The
I've
movie's.
never seen it still.
The movie is really. Don't start with.
I'm
the
sorry,
movie.
Christy. You said
I have not seen it still.
you have not seen it. Oh.
No.
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
Yeah, you
How
can't.
did
help-
we kick him?
He kicked himself. He's into
Oh.
self-flagellation.
Wow, that's harsh.
If I hit mute, it appears on the screen stupid like this. Look. See, it's all.
We don't see it. Oh, well, yeah, we see it, but that's
So.
not nearly. Yeah, I can see how that little mute icon was not nearly. That's much better than carry
They're
on.
totally bothering you. Yeah.
No, it's just
Yeah.
I don't like it to appear on stream, and it is so difficult for me not to talk. So it's.
All right, that works.
Yeah. It's not nearly as
The
distracting.
channel just got like 20% better.
We've got to learn to do it when I go.
There
Then
you go.
That would be pretty awesome.
There you go. All the cool people are here.
Funny.
Right, just had 15 seconds and nobody said anything except how I'd been kicked. Come on, if I've been kicked, just go, do better.
Did he dance, monkey, dance?
Right? Are you not entertained?
Hello, my honey. Hello,
Are
my
you not
darling.
entertained?
Oh, if only Chris, the atheist pastor, were here, because he looks just like.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. She mentioned about Australian subscribers, and I was like, yeah, we've even got Russell Crowe in the community. It's great, isn't it?
Just like him. Yeah.
Also,
I wouldn't lie to you here in front of everybody. I mean, he does.
Gladiator is a very
uncanny.
emotional movie.
yeah.
I don't know why.
So I wonder what that caucus is like right now.
Yeah, have we got a result? Christy, you're the political channel, and Chris, you love
I
the politics.
have not had a chance. I have a few things lined up to
I
get.
have my phone. Oh,
I'm
look.
done.
Okay, right. Well, I'm not in your country, and I'm streaming. So out of the three of yous, somebody look and let's get some results for the Iowa caucus.
Pete Buttigieg won.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's he was leading earlier.
And who came second? Bernie.
Yeah.
Bernie did.
Right. How much did Bernie lose by? Because it didn't focus.
1%.
I saw Bernie 8 at 28 and Pete Buttigieg at 27 earlier.
Oh, well, this says that Pete is at 26.95 and Bernie is at 25.09.
Yeah, but
I
that's
mean,
what when
Just a house of lies.
You see, this is the thing. No matter what the result is going to be.
60% was out. Now it should be all out.
See, because it's delayed, it doesn't matter. Because the fact that it was fucking delayed, nobody is going to trust anything. They said there was a backup to the backup to the backup.
Yep.
How fucking hard is it to do your thing in the app and do a piece of paper?
Conspiracy theories are everywhere already.
Oh, yeah.
When the guy came out today and he was releasing, he said he did the little talk and we're really working on things. We're going to make it good. Everything is. The very first question from the reporters was, "How can we trust you again after this?"
Yep.
That was the very first question.
Yeah.
After the last election and then this little fiasco yesterday.
Yep.
Truth.
but not everything.
Donated like 30 grand to the shadow company.
Who? Buttigieg?
Buttigieg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard.
There's
I've
a
heard
shadow company. Is that like the deep state, Christy?
That's the name that they named this app. This app they used to tally the caucus yesterday.
I really
Yeah.
don't understand.
Shadow.
Like, we can all bring and enjoy and accept technology, solar panels, wonderful, electric cars, wonderful.
Your ballot.
But when you're
Chips in our necks.
But when you're coming to something that's important as this, I personally think there must be a physical copy. Even when I'm doing,
There is a
There
physical
is.
copy. Yeah, they have it.
It's on paper. It's like parchment.
Right.
They do actually have it, and they are planning on going through individually and counting. But it's like, who's to say what now?
whenever I want
Yeah.
to, I wrote down, and in all honesty, Christy, I have like 4 questions I didn't even get through during our interview, which was like 3.5 hours ago. But I write them in a diary. You know, it's because it's quicker, it's easier, and it's a physical copy. It takes me longer on my phone. Now, I make a note on my phone that this date is taken, but that's all it says. Any details or anything like that, or anything important, it's physically written down in an actual hard book.
It's just like the fucking impeachment. I record all my phone calls, and I'm nobody. I'm a nobody, and I record my phone calls.
It sounds like you're a paranoid wreck.
Why doesn't any call in the White House should be recorded? Any
In the
call.
White House, yes.
It
So
actually
dumb.
should be recorded, yes.
It really should be. It should be recorded by law. It should be in our freaking Declaration of Constitution.
Well, you see, that's the thing, man. Back in the days when the Constitution was being done, all they had was hemp
Telegraph and
I was gonna say hemp seed.
airplanes.
I was gonna say hemp string and tin cans.
Right.
oh yeah, no. I think they're a little more advanced. Give our founding fathers some credit. They at least had a space program, didn't they?
Well, if you go back far enough, there's spaceships.
Mm.
I watched a video
Very
today,
true.
very, very small channel. There's only 600 subscribers. And 2 perfectly symmetrical rocks, as he described it in his opening, which was like a minute long. The whole video was like 15 minutes. And he's like, these are perfectly symmetrical rocks that were found in Bosnia back in such and such. And how could it be made such perfectly this, that, and the other? They must weigh at least 3 tons each and all. Da, 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 da. And then in the disclaimer at the bottom, it was diameter between 1.3 and 1.5 meters. It's like, how are they perfectly symmetrical then? It's
Right.
and his explanation was only 3
Aliens.
explanations: ancient civilization, aliens, and other. You know, it's So funny.
Right.
I'm going to send him Jay's.
I'm
going with other.
I'm going to send him to Jay. I watch these channels for entertainment, man. I have a separate account where I just sub to every fucking sci-fi crazy pyramid. He has a video on the Sphinx and why it's real, and there's an ancient Atlantis library underneath.
You don't think the Sphinx is real?
No. I don't think the Sphinx is real as in made by aliens. It has an Atlantis library underneath.
Yeah, aliens came down and like gave some primates some extra DNA and we started to evolve. That theory. Yeah, that one.
Because that's so much better than God.
I do believe it's Christy. I do believe if I get this right.
They have of old dumb stuff and moved on to smarter stuff. They are science literate, so they think this is the science way. It's not.
That's right.
No,
Directed panspermia is what I think you're referring to, Christy. Directed panspermia.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. What's going to be really funny, I will feel like such a fucking idiot when aliens do make first contact and they're like, don't you know about space Jesus? They're like, God damn it. They had a Jesus too. Well, that can't just be a coincidence.
Brantley, you clearly haven't been watching my Thursday show with Richard Madsen. Richard Madsen actually believes that there's been 23 Earths before this. Jesus is an actual descendant of an alien. God is an alien. Heaven is actually a spaceship.
I didn't know you knew him. I didn't know you'd know I'm ripping him off completely. I mean, man.
Richard's my internet brother.
No, I'm just kidding. This is actually the first show of yours I've ever caught, and I'm not even watching it.
Yeah, I know. You only subbed to me yesterday, which I was like, wow. You know? Wow.
Yep, I've been subbed to other people who are in here a lot longer. Like Randolph, I've been subbed to him for over like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many videos does he upload?
Oh no, I'm just a random talking, rambling mess.
I don't like math. I just don't like math. Okay.
It's in the title.
You see,
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Hey,
for
Mathpig,
everybody
how long
who
have you been doing this?
I don't know if Chris has heard this. Chris may have heard this. Brantley, this is your first time here. I am called Mathpig. Christy originally knows me as Math Magic Pagan. The reason behind it is
I remember that.
when I came,
remembers that too.
Yes, when I came to the community, okay, I was me. I knew of the atheist term, but the more that I looked into it, and from the non sequitur, Steve McRae and all that, and we'll not go down the route of what is agnosticism and all that because he took it too far. But my personal view, and I describe what an agnostic is in that exactly, right? But I don't like being pigeonholed because, as I have said on this channel before, if you put me in a pigeonhole, it makes me easier to shoot. I have had a conversation with Sky Out where he has said, but agnosticism in the philosophy book says this. Well, fuck you, I don't agree with that book, right? So
he's a twat. Don't talk to him.
Oh no, it's fun to talk to him. I just kicked my fucking ball cock over.
Damn it, man! You kicked your ball.
I'll finish the story and then I'll get a towel. But the point of what I'm saying is, my name was originally Math Magic Pagan. Math being a representation of science. I do believe in science. I think evidentialism and show me the evidence, this, that, uniformitarianism. That all is encompassed
I think science is just kind of made up by mankind, and if we didn't exist, neither would science. So I don't know if I can literally believe in science.
Science, the word science, right. Well,
I'm trying to be too pedantic.
Yeah, you're being an ass. I'm thinking about kicking you. Right.
Again.
So math, that's a representation of what the word math means, right? Then you had magic. I have experienced things and recently have experienced things that have freaked the fuck out of me. What did you call it earlier, Christy?
A stroke.
Serendipity.
Serendipity. I have experienced that. I have experienced other things that is a long conversation. Sammy knows what I'm talking about because he's seen a video that only me and him and Richard have seen.
Say salvia?
No, tried salvia. It didn't work. Anyway, magic being shit I don't understand yet. I'm not saying that it's necessarily supernatural, but if I have had these conversations with Christians and they've come back to me and said it is supernatural. I disagree with that. I just said shit we don't understand.
Right.
And then at the very end, I have pagan, which at the time when I come onto the scene, we had Godless Engineer getting massive, and I wanted to use the word heathen, but that fucker stole it and got in there first. So I used pagan in the old sense, as in I ain't no Christian. So it's I believe in science, I have experienced things that I don't quite understand yet, and I ain't no Christian. So that was me making my own pigeonhole. The problem with that is it's fucking long, and look, it took me 15 minutes to explain it.
Yeah, but you were the only one with anything like it.
Well, I want to real quick point out that we need to
do
get
that. I have to go get a towel. I spilt my ball cock.
Okay, good. You do that.
Oh,
Are you doing, yes, yeah. Did you do it early or premature?
was it on the ground?
We need to get some more subscribers over to the Leah Podcast because they are at 661.
I know. We only need just a couple more, and then we don't need any more.
No, so if you have not
break out the Mathpig army. Will I break out the Mathpig army?
We need to do
5
something.
of them.
All 5 of them.
Yes, we need 5.
Yeah, so you need 5 more. I am rooting for you. Let's see. I'm all
over the floor. I've made a mess all over the floor. Give me a minute.
Okay, you take your time. We got this. So I'm gonna put you out on my social medias here. I'm gonna spread you on my channel.
Ew.
That's my next goal. I just hit 500 like last week, and I'm already like a couple days. What's that?
That's awesome.
And so yeah, my next number is 666.
I know. I'm so excited.
Let's see. League of.
My pen just. Okay, there it goes. Thought it died. Gonna cry.
A lot of words. League of Extraordinary Athiests, Humanists. Is that right?
For humanism.
For humanism. I was close. I was almost there.
But that's why it's all capitals. Leah.
Yes.
Yeah. 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 What are you doing over there, silly girl?
Just have some chips.
All right. I just found out that I suck at drawing, and I shouldn't ever do that for a living. I'm gonna put this away.
Wow, too bad I already spent $20,000 in school for you.
Oh.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Could I lay with you, Papa?
I don't know if I have you on Facebook.
I'm gonna get that new Chinese virus, Christy. I just realized I touched my face too much.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
If you're at home, it's not that big of a deal. Don't do it when you're not at home.
I just subbed.
But
like
I'm
5
around
times.
so many people right now.
I just subbed like 5 times. You're bound to be at 666 now.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pee myself. All right. On
You can
Facebook,
charge.
it's Christy Santiago.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
It always sounds weird when I say my own name.
Does it?
It's just it's like no, don't do that. That's wrong.
I'm looking for you here myself. I'm just trying to tag you in.
It's in the description, Chris. Come on, aggressive Robbie telling you here. It's in the description. The first link, click it. I just subbed 5 times. You haven't done it once yet. I was also cleaning the floor.
I'm talking about Facebook.
I'm promoting her on Twitter right now, and I'm trying to get her Twitter handle right. What was your Twitter handle? It's at.
At your mom's house.
She's so funny.
Mind your business, woman. Mind your business.
At your mom's house.
All right.
It's on Twitter. It's at Christine Dawn DAWNSA.
I got you there. There you go. And then I'll highlight Mathpig, El Pigo de Matho.
Oh, you're talking
Oh
about
my God,
Facebook.
Brett,
You're not
665.
talking about YouTube.
Well, I already posted it on YouTube. Now I'm trying to post it on Twitter.
No, but I thought you meant that she was nearly 666 subscribers.
Yeah,
on
we
YouTube.
need one more.
On
You
YouTube,
are.
yes.
You're
We're almost-
66. You're 666.
That's it.
665. Hold on, let me refresh.
No, I just refreshed. I like subbed you.
I did it. 666. We did it.
That's amazing.
Now people. I just now put it on Twitter, so other people will pop over there and it'll be gone.
Get a
So-
screenshot. Get a screenshot.
Get a screenshot.
I did. I'm sending it.
TubeBuddy will actually give you a certificate.
Will it for 666? I don't think it will for that one.
No, it'll not, but we can edit it and we can move it across. All right, because we were all here for it.
We were. So now me. I need to get to mine. So I'll be chasing you.
Fuck
it's a
the
race.
whole lot is. All right, I'm at like, what am I at? 340 something. Sub to Mathpig.
I'll pull up the Mathpig. Yeah, let's sub to Mathpig. Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to sub to his channel or not.
No, do you know what's wrong? People, I've got a loyal. See, I don't actually have fans. I've just discussed before. I don't have fans. I have friends that feel sorry for me. That's what happens. I get subs because they feel sorry for me in other streams, and then the people who turn up in live are all friendly people.
You've got 345, and you've picked up almost 100 in the past month. So you're not doing too shabby.
It says you.
It says me. And I picked up like a lot myself.
Where's that button? No, fair play to you, Chris. You get subs and all that there, and at the end of the day, yeah, man, you put out daily content. You're very good at what you do. You have a direct stance. Now, when it comes to me, I can be very, I wouldn't say misunderstood, but I'm complicated.
You are.
I am complicated, you know, and I do want to try and build a community from both sides of the fence. I want them assholes in here, not Darth Dawkins. I want them assholes in here. You know,
I bounced him this morning. You were there for that. Listen,
I did warn him. Now, in saying that, man, I didn't get any go-ahead from you. You made me a mod, obviously. We're friends and stuff like that. But I don't know your rules on your channel, so I did give him a warning. I said, look, if you keep spamming, I'll bounce you. He said, why is anything I'm saying spam? I didn't want to go down the route because it's Darth Dawkins and defining words and all that shit. What I should have said is, if you keep pushing the point or something like that, a bit more poignant to what the way he speaks. Like, how was that English that I just said? But the fact that you've now said that, I'll bounce him every time. But I give him a warning because I didn't know.
I didn't have the time. I don't have the patience for that. Not in my channel. I mean, he come in and he's picking a fight with Neil, and Neil isn't even there. He's listening. He's not watching the chat, and this guy's picking a fight with him, and then
Canadian Neil.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to fight with Neil? Darth Dawkins, apparently.
No, you see, what's happened is Darth Dawkins.
I'd fight Neil.
Darth Dawkins was given his own channel. Darth Dawkins was given his own channel on a Discord server, and he was given full reign in that Discord server on this one particular channel, and he named it Duncan Atheism. That's what the name and all that after that name. And anyone that came in there could fight him. It was purely a channel to come in and debate Darth Dawkins, and it was huge. It was massive. It brought an awful lot of people to this Discord server and made it huge. It was a politics server, but the busiest channel I think at the time was Darth. Then he got so repetitive and so boring that strangers at the age of 13 were coming in. Man, I sent you the video. The people who were deciding to challenge him was what, 12? You know, 12-year-olds had figured out his script.
Alternative facts, okay?
But I'd debate a 12-year-old.
No, but 12-year-olds had the skill to
Kick
figure
their
out.
ass.
They had the skill to figure out Darth Dawkins' script.
No
he became
mercy.
that boring and that's repetitive.
Sad. I don't think that.
So
like,
he
that
has started to turn up.
Conversation to have.
Yeah, Dave Worley had an announcement about DaveCon in England, and that's what the video was about. A question and answers about what you think about the convention. And Darth Dawkins turned up in that and started a row in the chat with Dave, and he's like, what? He did the same on your channel. He's turned up, started with Jim Majors. He has realised that nobody wants to listen to him anymore, so he has to reach out.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify something. I only meant that I would fight Neil only after he gave blood.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, because he's a big old boy. I wouldn't want to that either.
If you give blood, over here.
He's a what, Christy?
Canadian moose.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. He's a sweetie though. He's been really.
Hold on, 1 second, just if I can address the chat. Randolph, are you deadly serious about that? Because I'll set that up. I have his Discord. Are you up for having a conversation?
Randolph will talk to anyone about anything.
Does Randolph? No. But does Randolph know who Darth Dawkins is?
There's a good chance that he does.
Yeah, because it's not the fact that Darth Dawkins has good arguments. It's the fact that he is a rabbit hole leader down a script. And he is very good at leading a conversation, not making points. He's good at leading a conversation. Plus, he believes
morally fucked up things.
But is he handsome?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
No,
Yeah, at least that's what Matt Powell has going for him.
Powell is the cutest little twink I've ever seen.
Oh man, I would.
Twink.
So,
Right? No, you're
Really?
right.
Yes, are you kidding me? He's every bear's dream.
oh yeah.
Friday
I'm
night.
glad I wasn't the only one that saw it.
No, he looks like a cupcake with icing on
Well, they
top.
call him a cupcake. Is that why they call him a cupcake?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
you know-
why. You can't see the twinkle in his eye.
Yeah. The
I
more
know,
they
well,
complain
closet
about such
homosexual.
things.
No, I don't think there's a problem in saying closet homosexual.
Yeah,
I think he's a closet
He's
homosexual.
really anti-gay, and I was
Yeah.
like, why?
Methinks the lady doth protest too much. I mean, he.
Why? You are like a huge portion
Commodity.
of dream boy. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be
Randolph,
great
I'll definitely set that up.
BOI, boy.
twink boy. Yeah.
Randolph, DM me on Twitter, Randolph, or talk to me on Discord. Send me a message about that
You
because
could make some good money too.
that'll be a
Randolph,
clickbait.
talk to
That'll
him
be pure clickbait, Randolph. We'll get him in. We'll get some announcements because I still have to get you on for a show as well. So we could do an hour of interviewing you about what you are and who you are and why you're here, and then we can get Darth on to set fire to the stage.
Sammy has the touch. Sammy just said that I am the second channel, or Leah is the second channel that she was the 666th subscriber to.
Yes, Sammy's a charmer. Sammy has promised everyone in the community if they move to Australia, he will give them a blowy. If you have a blowy,
I'll move. I'll move.
you get a blow. If you're a guy and you move to Australia, Sammy has promised blowies for all the guys who move to Australia.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'll be there in a couple months, I guess.
Beautiful and humanistic.
Sounds like you're putting words in Sammy's mouth, among other things.
I may be putting words in his mouth, but he's putting an awful lot of other things in his mouth.
I'm just saying.
Sammy is also a he. Yes, if people didn't know, Sammy is a he. He also has a wife and kids and is straight. That's how important it is to get people to move to Australia.
But we're not going to make a big deal of it.
But we're not making a big deal out of it.
No, not at all.
Blowies for everybody.
It has legs. It just never gets old.
Oh man,
So funny.
I have family in Australia. It turns out, my mom's cousin got married and they went to Australia on their honeymoon, and then they just didn't go back.
I don't
I'm
blame
sure that happens a lot. It's far.
Australia
way
is
over
very,
there and then under.
Australia
Where's
is very
Let's
popular.
just stay here.
Australia's
Well,
very
the
popular. in America.
beauty is they just couldn't get back off the ground because of all the Velcro.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Every time I get a thumbs down, I figure it's an Aussie giving me a thumbs up. Because we got lots of Aussie friends. I'm just saying. I applying the logic, you know. I'm not as dumb as I look. I'm not being a cult.
I'm not as dumb as I give myself credit.
Yeah. Nacho Witness will like that one a lot.
Yeah, where is Nacha? Get Nacha in here. It's bound to be. Sammy's here, so it's morning time. Tweet her.
You know, I've never been on the same stream with Natcha.
No, I have
Really,
never...
I've been on 6.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
At least a few.
Really, really late for America. East Coast, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when Nacha would be on.
I hacked the code. There's a code. I hacked the code. I hacked it. I don't even know what we're talking about now. Did I win? But I won. I think I'm having a stroke.
Okay, this is definitely going to get us
It's called
monetized.
toast.
Just to point out, comment from the chat from Sammy. It's not just blowies for everybody. That it was never just males. I also have a 10-inch tongue and can breathe through my ears. So, shout out to the ladies.
Equal opportunist.
Yeah, Sammy says it's 2 p.m. there. Not just bound to be awake.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to believe, right? It's like an island off the coast of South America.
There's New Zealand, and
2
then
p.m. on a Wednesday there.
That's what they want you to
Antarctica.
believe.
There's nothing in between.
Well, technically, it's 3 a.m. on Wednesday here.
And they're not really kangaroos. They are radiated, mutated deers.
Randolph,
face,
I'm
all in the
Mathpig too.
face.
Love them. They're so
That's how they got there from the Ark.
They bred their way there.
they held onto a log and floated there, according to Sink and Ham.
Hold on to
All the way there.
Don't fall asleep, Jack.
Yeah,
What's
I'll never let you go.
I'll never let you go until now.
Yeah.
How do you think salamanders happened?
I don't know.
Mommy salamanders. And
There's a
PBS
very good.
eons.
When a mommy salamander and a daddy salamander love each other real much.
Right? That's they get married in the eyes of God, then they see each other's peepees.
Yeah.
On Amazon, there's a really good salamander documentary. Well, it's about newts, but still, same diff.
Yeah.
Do you know Channel
Yeah.
4 over here in the UK tried a dating show where it was nude and they had nude men and women behind screens that eventually got higher. You got to see their ankles, then their knees, and then
Really?
everything.
No.
Yes. And then
Do you
when you
know-
get turned down, man, this is the best of it, right? When you get turned down, and like there's maybe 5 people and they whittle it down to 1, and as each person gets turned down, you then have to walk up Starkers to the person who's fully dressed and go, yeah, thanks very much for not liking me and all the rest of it.
hell?
And then they walk off, and then when they pick the single person that they do like, the person who's picking then has to go away and get Starkers as well and come back, and they get to meet each other naked, and then they're like, hi, yeah, nice to meet you.
We have an even more fucked up show. It's called We Turn on the News and See Immigrants in Detention Camps.
Do you know what's even more fucked up than that? My granny loves this fucking Channel 4 show. She's 84. It's...
I thought Irish weddings were all naked. I just thought
that-
they were all naked. Like in Star Trek on the Beta Z planet.
I was
thought
just
they were-
about to say, man, that's Beta Z, not me.
No. I mean, I saw, well, not all of them, obviously, but I saw some kind of thing when I was a younger person on television. It was actually on television. We didn't have the internet back then. And it was something about an Irish wedding, and they were naked. But, despite all the other discomforts that go with being naked in front of groups of people, it's the smell, really, I would think would really be the problem.
I blabbed me and my woman a free day in the sauna, steam room, sort of spa area of the last hotel that we stayed in, which is the same hotel we stay in Amsterdam every year. And I was like, look, we come every year, and this year it's our anniversary, which it's not. And is there anything you can do special and all? And like, yeah. Give us a free day ticket each. We go down, they hand, and I like a woman, not a skinny wee bitch. I like a hefty woman, and they hand my woman a hand towel that wouldn't cover my woman's tits. And they're like, you can go on in there and take your clothes off. And my woman just has 2 looks at her and goes, what do you mean take your clothes off? You mean get changed? And she's like, no. Go on in there and take your clothes off. Naked sauna, naked steam room. My woman lasted all of about 30 seconds before she got too nervous and left, and never took the towel off. She went up the stairs to our hotel room, got a beach towel, brought it back down, wrapped herself up like 4 times in the fucking thing, and then lasted all of 30 seconds. Some old boy could walk in here with his todger out. I'm out of here. She left and went to the pool.
Todger.
Todger.
That's a good one. I like that.
I
It
lay
means
there.
penis.
I lay there,
Mental
man.
note.
I don't give 2 flying fucks. I lay there for a good 40 minutes.
Yeah, I
Starkers.
wouldn't care.
Not a single person
With your
came in.
todger out.
With my todger
I'd be
out.
like, I paid
Both
for this.
inches.
All 6 inches with a black end on it.
Yes. It's very Nordic. Very, very Nordic to go in.
She was not happy at all because when we actually went to the hotel room,
I thought you were going to say to have a black tip on it.
the hotel room's bathroom was a glass door, so when she had a shower, if I was lying on the bed, I could see her in the shower. She was not happy about this. No, it's like, do I get no privacy? No privacy!
That reminds me of when I was in jail.
Who dropped the soap?
Privacy. None.
Sex I ever had in jail.
No privacy.
Bad sign. What's he? What do you got there?
Times.
What is this that you got?
Hmm?
Vibrant. Bryant.
No,
Brant.
That's a clamp.
Brant.
Oh, what am I playing with? It's a clamp.
It's a
Yeah.
clamp.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you put it on your head to torture yourself.
It's to clamp two pieces of wood together to possibly let the glue dry.
Or like to glue things and clamp them.
I didn't know if it was a clamp or a gauge. I thought it might be some kind of gauge.
Randolph,
Oh,
I
don't know anyone named Gage.
My wee girl loves a tape measure. She runs around measuring everything and thinks nothing funnier than pulling it out till it goes no further and then letting go. No pun intended, you dirty bastards.
No.
Hey, did you get
My
the
niece
message
is
from
like
Randolph Mathpig?
Yeah, I've already sent it to him on Twitter, but he's taking his time.
Well, yeah.
Does he know how long we've already been streaming? My God, Randolph. There you are.
Hey.
I was backstage hearing you saying that I'm taking my time.
I know, and then I looked at the page and went, fuck, he's already here.
That worked out good.
Thanks for bringing me in. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, man, appreciate you coming in. The more the merrier. It's definitely fun. And, yeah, we're all a good group of people. And I don't think, Randolph, you've met Chris before, have you?
No. In the Twitter, we're...
Oh, yeah. I think we've been in a few of these chats.
Yeah, but I mean, you've never been in a hangout with Chris before.
Yeah. No, I don't think I have. Nice to meet you, Randolph.
Nice to meet you, too.
I think we're talking about getting together and having you come on the show.
That's what it is. Yeah. That's where we've communicated.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
If you go on to Chris's show before my show, I will disown you. We keep forgetting to set up a time, though, Randolph. That's what it is, because we're too busy being friends and talking shite. And actually
No
not.
problem.
The same thing with Chris. Talking
Hey,
shite.
Christy, congratulations on 666. That's an important milestone in the atheism community, it seems.
Agree.
It is.
Agree. I bet Mac is like, what? He's teaching a class right now. That's why he couldn't be here. He teaches karate, taekwondo, a few different
Of course he does.
Good. Yeah.
Wow. I used to teach
I know.
karate.
And he likes to dress, I'm sure you guys have seen his pictures, he likes to dress as superheroes. So I'm sure every kid that's ever taken his class, he's like the best teacher ever.
I used to teach karate, so I know what that's like. I was mostly teaching children at an elementary school. It was quite good. You see the self-confidence change. It's so rewarding, you know? Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's such an important thing to teach. You know, whether it doesn't even have to be karate, dance, whatever it might be, that they learn something at that age where they have to rely on each other and themselves.
Yeah.
And to be a teacher in it, it's a big responsibility. I think that's why that whole industry has gotten away with not paying people well. It's because the people that do those jobs do them because they would do them for free. They just really love them.
I did it for free.
Yeah.
At that age, me learning to read was accomplishment enough.
Kickboxing
Hey,
was
my
my
friend
mother's
Brant,
cure.
you mentioned earlier that you've been subscribed to my channel for a while. Thanks. Did I ever subscribe to yours?
Yeah, of course he did.
Okay.
You're a mod.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody.
No, I
don't even think you've missed a stream. I think you've shown up to one, and I think I've
okay.
streamed once.
Okay.
So
I'm subscribed now, Randolph.
Kickboxing was my mother's cure to bullying. Because the school wouldn't do anything about it, my mother sent me to kickboxing 3 nights a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That was her cure for bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after about maybe 6 to 8 months, close to a year of doing it, the same bully started on me and then walked away. I went into the classroom, dragged him out by the scruff of the neck and threw him through a reinforced glass door after smacking him and got suspended for 3 days, and my mother treated it like a holiday. She was very proud of me for standing up for myself.
You
Our
were
money's worth.
angry.
Oh, yeah. I have a red Robbie. I've explained it to Chris before, and I've said it on stream.
The Red Hulk.
I have punched a concrete wall to the point where I've smashed bones in my hand to prove a point that I'm angry.
Ouch.
I prefer to
Didn't
run.
feel it at the time. Didn't feel it till about an hour
Less
later.
people get hurt that way.
Pardon?
I prefer to run. Less people get hurt that way.
Yeah.
I did walk away. That was the point. I asked both my girlfriend at the time and my mother to leave me alone, and I walked away out of the house and I walked up the street, and I just wanted to be left alone because I was very angry at the time. And my mother got into the car and she drove around the state till she found me, and she asked me to get into the car and come back home again. And she did say the phrase, to paraphrase, "I've seen you angrier than this before." So I stopped, I looked at her, then I turned around and punched a concrete wall about 4 times, so I smashed my hand. And then, am I angry enough for you now? And then she drove off and left me. And about an hour later, she had to take me to A&E when I turned up at the house. Because my hand had swollen.
Oh, that like Viking blood is in your family.
Yeah. Oh, I have anger. But I haven't done a Red Robbie, as we call it. I have had one Red Robbie incident in this last maybe 4 or 5 years. I have got control of my anger. I go down the logic route and try and focus it better now and find an answer to it. I've been down that route where I've, smashing your hand off a concrete wall. That was sort of a pinnacle.
Ouch. Well, see, here in the States, we don't have, we can't just go to the hospital.
No.
It's very expensive and like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm really mad at you.
Yeah.
And you'd likely have trouble getting through the Canadian border if you're in bad shape like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You'll have to hide it.
What was really annoying is the reason that happened is because my car had not blown up, but the engine had blown up, and it was unfixable. So I needed a new car or else a new engine. But when I smashed my hand into bits, I was off work for 3 months. So I had to buy a banger of a car and get my friend to come down and then loosen the nuts, and then I could take the nuts off. And he had to come down and help me. I had to change an engine twice in that car in the 3 months that I was off to get the car going again with one hand, which was, I learnt my lesson after that. You always have consequences for the actions that you take.
Always. Yes.
Not always.
Emotions is a very powerful thing, and you can gain strength from your emotions, but when you let your emotions take over, it's Tony Designs and Dr. Kyle that's been on Chris's show. Spock is right. Logic dictates. That's, Oh, and by the way, Chris, I said this to you twice in the chat the other day. I don't think you noticed, or it wasn't poignant to the conversation, but Dr. Kyle did suggest The Good Place. I finished the entire series the other day.
Mm-hmm. I did notice. I thought I responded. I do know. I mentioned it to Dr. Kyle, and we'll probably talk about it. He's writing a book related to it, and he recommended I watch that show just before he releases the book. So I'm going to put it off.
I will definitely rewatch it when he releases the book. I'm not joking you. I think it was the second or third last episode. I'm glad that I watched it alone. I cried my fucking eyes out, man. Yeah, you can laugh at me. I don't care. I was very lucky to jump in when it was only 2 episodes from finishing the entire show, so I had the ability to stint it. I don't know if I could have survived waiting week by week by week by week. It's an amazing show, and to quote a line from the show, life is but a wave, and when it crashes on the beach, you just become the water again. And there's things like that that's in it, and it's a.
What is The Good Place?
Have you not watched the show?
No, I've never seen the show.
It's a show on Netflix.
What is The Good Place?
Well, I don't want to say it because we just built it up for Chris, and he's going to read a book before he watches the show. So I don't really want to spoil it.
It's got like pictures. I can bring my own crayons.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Nice.
Go watch the trailer on YouTube.
Sounds like you're voting.
Read it before I watch it, is what you're saying.
If I told you what the series was about, series 1 is one thing, and then there's 4 other series where other shit happens. So if I told you what the main show was about, it would ruin series 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so you gotta just watch it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I'd rather you just watch the trailer for series 1 because it would give you a better point, and it would, because I could possibly say things that, because I've watched it in a stint, all episodes blur together, and I could say something that happens in series 3 when trying to describe series 1.
I'll just watch the reviews on YouTube. It's quicker, and they give all the plot.
Yeah, that works too.
I like ruining things for myself.
Read Stone Junction by Jim Dodge and read the last chapter first. That'll ruin your life. That book's amazing.
Well, Dr. Kyle, he kind of talked me into rewatching the Orville, and some days it goes good and some days it goes bad. Are
you series 2 yet?
We just started series 2.
Good. I've been waiting on that because I want to rewatch series 2, and I've been waiting for you to catch up.
Yeah, that's where we're at. We started, and it's kind of, one episode we think, man, that wasn't bad, and then the next episode you're like, really? That's just.
I was also
That's
thinking
dumb.
that do you know, like, there's the atheist agnostic book club.
I didn't know.
There's an
I didn't
atheist
know that either.
agnostic book club. There
But
is
I
that.
think we should stop for a moment here and let Christy give us some final thoughts.
Oh, is she bailing?
Yes, I was saying goodbye to everyone first.
Oh, I missed that.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yes, private chat.
I will also have to go.
I have to eat something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Christy, I really appreciate you coming on. This has been one of the funnest shows that I've had. And I think one of the longest shows that we've had as an interview without quiplash to start off with.
I believe it.
The banter is fantastic. Yeah, we definitely
Good
need
meeting
to.
you.
No, this is great. This has been fun.
Nanu.
It's always great to see you, Christy.
I'll weep, grown, I'll weep, ninny bond.
And I look forward to more in the future. It was a lot of
Bye,
fun.
Christy.
Yeah,
Getting
Christy-
and vibrantly.
Christy,
I might talk to you
definitely.
later.
I'm going to put you on the after party list, which means randomly you may find in your Twitter DMs a StreamYard link. Don't send me a message going, what's this? It's fun. Just click it. Just fucking click it and come in. You know?
Go eat.
Thank you. Thank you. Brantley, if
Okay.
you want to say anything before you leave then.
I might be selling stuff on Etsy if I can make these pop filters out of burlap and wood.
Something to do.
Yeah, maybe. I'm on Twitter. Anyone can follow me on Twitter unless I block you.
good point.
Tomorrow, everybody that has been in the stream tonight, I'll put all their links in the after party description. So if DM me the whatever you need, your Twitter on Discord, man, and I'll add it all to the description. I've got Randolph's and I've got Chris's. I think I followed you after you followed me the other day, but I'll add everybody's to the description afterwards. So call back
Cool.
tomorrow.
And if ever you're needing someone for after show, I'm more than happy to.
Perfect.
Unless I'm working or I don't want to.
Well, my after shows usually start between 11 and half 11 UK time, which would be 6 or 6:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Cool. So how do I leave? Do I just hit the power supply button on my Surge Protect?
There you go.
Alt F4. Alt F4.
You just click the button, man. You
All
just
right.
click
That's
the
brilliant.
Yeah.
button. Talk to you later.
Actually, I should have said that's bright.
He jumped before I went to hit the button, and then Chris slid into his position. That's why you get kicked for a split second there, Chris.
That's all right. I don't mind.
Chris,
I
as
I
I
don't
was
mind
saying,
wherever I am on the screen. It's okay.
Chris, I am dying to rewatch Farscape again. So if we
I
can,
love Farscape.
yeah, if we can fly through the Orville and we can get maybe 3 or 4 people, and we can designate, I would have to say at least 2 episodes a day on average, because that's what I would watch.
If you're going to do a regular Orville series, I love that show. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Neil's a big fan. Bring Neil in.
Yeah. Well, the
Well,
Orville's
we have
Dr.
Sci-Fi
Kyle.
Saturdays.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. We started talking about it on Sci-Fi Saturday, my morning show. We turned it into a Sci-Fi Saturday, and we have Dr. Kyle who comes on. He teaches psychology and sci-fi, the sci-fi of psychology, and that's been a running thing. He started Mathpig on the Good Place, and he started me on the Orville. And I'm a Star Trekkie. I've just been really having a hard time with the Orville. It's just
Actually, the only complaint I have about the Orville is that, with Star Trek Next Generation, especially, you see Captain Picard and the other members of the crew being very thoughtful about their decision. The Orville seems to rush through the decisions. That's the only thing I miss about it. And I think this is an important thing in science fiction. But aside from that, I really like everything else about the Orville. And I'm hoping they'll do better with this in the future seasons.
Yeah, well, it's been confirmed for another season, so.
that's good. I mean, it is sci-fi, and it reminds me a lot of the Star Trek. It's got similarities, but we watched the final episode of season 1, and it was supposed to be, oh, you're gonna love it. It's just gonna be wonderful. And
I knew that this was happening. I was gonna text fucking Kyle. I was gonna say to Kyle in the private chat, don't build it up too much, because if you build it up, it ruins it.
Well, I mean, the opening of the episode, she's going to go down to this planet that's got this Bronze Age kind of way of life, and she's not going to talk to anybody. And as soon as she gets there, she sees somebody and talks to them, and then runs down there and helps them. It's like, how could you possibly be any dumber? And there's a lot of it in that show where it's really hard to get through.
Taken away from something you don't like. What I was trying to say at the start was, you see, after you're finished the Orville.
Okay.
I know Dr. Kyle hasn't watched Farscape either. He did say that, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah, I don't know how he's gotten through this far without seeing Farscape.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right?
Farscape.
But would you be? How many episodes? Like when you sit down with the wifey, how many episodes do you watch? Do you watch one a day? 2 a day?
2 a day usually, but we haven't been getting them all in.
Well, if you watch 2 a day and there's 5 days in the week, taking Sundays off and Saturday being the stream, that would be 10 a week. If we said, say, 8 a week, and we work our way together through Farscape and do that on a the Sci-Fi Saturday, have a topic maybe every 2 weeks where we've went through maybe 8 or 16 episodes.
Farscape. I'm thinking of Farpoint Station from Star Trek.
No, Farscape with Michael Crichton and the Plant Lady and very, very good. BBC show.
That's a good show.
British show.
Okay. I'm not familiar with it. So.
Yeah, well, you can get in this too, Randolph. That's the thing. It's an absolutely amazing show.
It's a good show.
Yeah, it ended with like a double-parter, one section on its own, the Peacekeeper Wars. It's the whole idea behind it. It's just, it's great.
That sounds interesting.
88 episodes and a movie.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at, yeah.
Yeah, and the ship itself is alive. The ship itself has emotions.
It's like a space whale.
Do you remember that episode in Star Trek Next Generation where the Betazoid
That was what, the first or second episode of the first season, wasn't it?
Of Next Generation?
Yeah.
Where it had that one out there. Yeah, that had the telepath. It was...
Yeah, what did you call that?
Farpoint Station was the first episode. Farpoint was.
Farpoint was season 1.
Yeah.
Right. But there was an episode I think Mathpig's talking about where they found this...
Yes, he was outside his sun trying to kill himself because he was all alone for 1,000 years and blah, 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 blah. And I can't remember what the Betazoid...
Oh, the black tarry creature, right?
It looked like a bullet. It was a cream bullet.
It looked like a cone, like a pine cone. And it was floating around the sun. And this telepath... He could read it, so they took the telepath, and the telepath got on the ship and eventually went away with him.
He became part of the ship, very, very similar to getting the implant from Farscape.
Yeah, Moya. Like the implant.
No, definitely something to watch, man. Definitely, we should do that, man. That's what I'm saying. As you said last week, sometimes on the Sci-Fi Saturday it does ramble.
And it's I was thinking, I enjoy my show, but I'm not really happy with where it's going.
Why not? You're doing really well, but I can see what you're saying. I'm gonna.
It's turning into more of a kind of. I'm gonna say this. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but like a boring interview show, and I want a morning show that's fun. And it's kind of gotten where it's all interview or all politic. I don't know. I just need to think about it.
Well, from an honest point of view, man, I was there every single morning, but you will notice that I'm there maybe 3 to 4 out of the 5 now. I'm not there every morning because when I do get my lunch, there's things I had to do. I was late today. Now it's my wee daughter's birthday at the 28th of fucking February, so I'm trying to book a party and a wee fucking play park thing. So for the first 20 minutes of your interview today, that was more important.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Pardon?
I find interviews interesting. I haven't listened to really any of your stuff yet, but I have a long list of things I'm trying to keep up with, Neil and a bunch of others, but you're going to get mixed into all this soon. But I do enjoy the interviews because all I have to do is listen, and I can be working on other things while that plays in the background.
Right.
Which is why Chris is thinking of going down the podcast route.
Yeah, we're turning it into a podcast exactly, for that reason. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and right now I'm getting a lot of American Atheists support, and a lot of them are coming on, and that's wonderful. And I'm going to consider joining their group. I looked into the American Atheists in my state, and they don't have a representative or a state director.
Okay.
So if I become active in that, I might find. But then I want to use my channel as a platform to help them grow there because we're all on the same page, right?
Oh, that's great.
And then you're a Canadian atheist, right?
Yeah, I'm the founding president. Yeah.
See, love to get in with you guys and help be a voice for anytime you got a message to get out. Heck
we
yeah.
appreciate all the help we can get.
Right now, I do the morning show, but I also do scripted videos. Once a week, I drop a scripted video, usually on Sunday. That makes me daily, right? But I'm also really considering doing an evening live stream on the regular, dealing with atheism and politics or something. I'm trying to work that one out.
See, the thing is, Chris, be yourself. What's important to yourself? My trailer for 2019 is different from my trailer for 2020 for the channel, because 2019 is what my goals were. 2020 is what my channel actually is. And I find it's better to be yourself. Don't pump out content every single day if you find it's becoming mundane. Take 2 days off a week and make it more important. Quality is always better over quantity.
Right, but in my case, it's more about being a production, and I don't necessarily intend to be the person doing it. Just like the morning show, I just host it sometimes. I get other content creators to come in and host, and eventually most of them will do the hosting. The Daily Atheist is an umbrella thing for us. So if I get a nighttime show going and I'm doing a live night stream, most likely I will not host it. I am looking for someone to help me host it because I don't want to do it all. Hell no.
Yeah, I can't do a show on my own. And I know that there's people in the community that would put people down for not being able to do a show on their own because they're boring or shit. But I bounce off people. I'm better in a conversation than I am in a monologue. I'm better. Like, I wanted to talk about politics, and this is the first time tonight. That was in my trailer for 2019, and this is the first time tonight that I've actually had a full stream, mainly about politics and what's going on and stuff. And it's been a while since I've started. But you get the point I'm trying to make. Be yourself, man. And if you're yourself, it's easier, and you get to do what you want.
Right.
Don't pander to the audience. If you find that the interviews are getting boring, then change it up. Then bring something on.
Right, and that's a great point.
But I just before I move over, man, I would agree with you in the production. It's good to be in the production. It's good to help other people, and it's good to be behind that. But I think that don't disappear. You have a voice, and you are very passionate about what you do. And as you seen the other night in the chat when you popped in, I called you a cunt, but then sent your link in because I said you're building an empire. And you are building an empire, man. And that's my goal. You have a powerful voice, and in the short space of time that you've been here, regardless of the help that having co-hosts has brought on, the fact that it's you as the leader. I'm not going to call myself a leader in the community or anything like that, but I made the decision to have a channel and have a voice and go out there, and people like yourself, and you're doing really well, and I don't want you to disappear because you're good at what you do. And don't become a hidden voice in the background.
Oddly enough that you say that, the wife has been banging me on the same thing. She, whenever I get... So, Chris, the atheist pastor, he came and hosted with me last week. He was going to host with me this week. I think maybe that's why I was trying to get it to where we had 3 people all the time on the show, the 2 hosts, and that'll make the show better.
I want to say one thing real quick.
Yeah.
Having wife support is very important.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, incredible.
It can be more important than life support.
No doubt. Well, that's kind of where I'm going with this, in that as I'm trying to develop that show and turn it into something that doesn't need me so much so I can go build the other second show, she kept saying not to get my face out of there, to keep my personality in there, because my personality is the draw.
Don't
actually, if it's very important, like even if you're not hosting the shows, that maybe you start off with a couple of words introducing everything as yourself, and then let the others take it over.
That's actually what I was doing when Atheist Pastor hasn't been here this week because he got the cooties.
As much as I love Russell Crowe, I watched less of the episodes where you stepped back because I want to watch Atheist Pastor. I'll turn up for his show. I turn up, and as you know yourself, Chris, my lunch break was 2 p.m. and has been for at least 5 years. And I changed my lunchtime from 2 p.m. to 1 p.m. to come and see your show. And I turn up, and Atheist Pastor's doing a massive big interview. Now, as much as we love Chris, it's your show, and I understand what you're trying to do, but I feel if you take a step back and let other people take over, then it becomes a hosting show. But I'm here to see you. I appreciate your attitude. I appreciate your viewing things. Sometimes we disagree because I think you're a wee bit aggressive the odd time, but no, but there's nothing wrong with that, man. You've said yourself, my channel is here to preach to the choir. I ain't no fucking Switzerland. I ain't gonna have,
I've said it.
Yeah.
I've been recently starting to look into what it would take to run an event here. My wife has been encouraging me to do this, and what I would ideally like to do is run an annual atheism event here that brings in people internationally, and have low ticket prices and have presenters. So I'm just starting to look into that. There's, of course, there's a lot of planning goes into it. I've had experience working with Computer Fair organization many decades ago, a few decades ago, with that we had usually well over 1,000 patrons come in. So I was on the board of directors, so I have a fair bit of insight on how to run these things from behind the scenes. So that I think could be one great way to promote things. I think that in the U.S. I've noticed there's been a lot of different events, and they seem to move around, which is interesting, but they always have a different name. It's always like a completely different event. There's not like one consistent thing that's always being done. It could always be moving around different states, but if it always had the same name and with the year on it, that would be, I think, better. Like it could be the American Atheists 2020 event.
We do have some of that. Forgive me. In Arizona, for example, this year on April 9th or something, they're having the annual Arizona American Atheist Convention Party Grand Poobah thing. That's their deal, and they do that on the regular over there. Different organization, the Faithless Forum, has their big thing back in May. So it's actually just completely different groups.
And then there's the DR conference coming up in the UK in April as well.
That's one of the things that, matter of fact, the guest I'm having tomorrow, his name is Zach Boss. He's with American Atheist, and his whole cause is about getting atheists together and spreading the word of American atheism and getting it out there and being not political so much, but about the organization of American Atheists and getting participation, especially cross-state participation and things just like what you're talking about. Have one convention, make it a thing, Yeah. Now, how many people, if you don't mind, how many people do you have in your organization?
We're very small right now because we're still fairly new. Yeah, so it's, there are people signing up for membership, so it is starting to grow, but it's not significant enough yet. There's so if running an event like this, it's going to come out of my own pocket initially, and that's fine. I'm happy to do that. From what I've seen with some of the pricing so far, I know I'll be able to afford it and have my own computer company as a sponsor and all this kind of thing. But it wouldn't be presenting my computer company everywhere. It would just we'd be presenting and marketing Canadian Atheists, the organization, as part of it, and then showcasing different atheists who are coming to present. The hard part is getting people out to present, and that's where the big costs come in, and that's the hard part. So
I'm going to post a link in the chat.
Unless they want to come out on their own, which would be fantastic, but I can't expect that because that's asking too much, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping, I know this is maybe, I don't know enough about the situation, but if there's not anybody here as a representative in New Mexico, I would be willing to step in that role for American Atheists because it would bump my channel. And so far, the American Atheist people have been wonderful about coming on and help. But we have a common cause.
Chris? Can I just?
You know what I think you should do? You should just go and offer to volunteer to do it, because even if there's somebody there, if that person there sees that and they're kind of in their mind they want to find an easy exit out, bang, you're in. You never know.
I actually sent the email today inquiring, and they've never responded.
You shouldn't join it to bump the channel. You should join it to help.
Well, that's the whole deal.
Rephrase your words. I know that you're a decent guy and stuff, and you're not using them to get subs, and it came across where, first thing that would happen if I joined them, it would bump my channel up. But if you're going to join an organization like that, you should join an organization.
Well, we talked about the empire, and I'm building a business here. That's absolutely part of it. But the deal is that I found this organization that is in line with my mentality, not just about atheism, but primarily about politics and everything. So it's just seems to be serendipity.
Oh, I understand. No. I wanted to clarify because I don't want anyone.
My phrasing.
I don't want anyone to misrepresent you and say this is a guy who's just using this shit to make money.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think
Different-
you are
it's a different
just doing that.
culture.
You are obviously building an empire. But
There's better ways.
It's a different culture.
no, but
here
it's
in
about
Canada.
spreading the word, and as I've said before, it's about making atheists an actual community. And if we don't have any political power to change anything unless we are a group. Now, the reason I mention that is because I have just posted in the live chat for everybody, right? People watching, and you can watch it. It's atheistni.org.uk. That has been dead for 3 years because everybody in that community and everybody in that organisation left and went to Northern Ireland Humanists. They all now work with the Northern Ireland Humanists, and that website is dead. It is possibly up for sale. I have talked about this before, about maybe starting that, but I had no support. If we can... Northern Ireland is so led from the Protestant side from what we would refer to as Bible bashers. We have no atheistic representation. This community in Northern Ireland, as everybody knows from outside it, is Protestant or Catholic. That's what they think of when they think of Northern Ireland. And we should have some sort of political representation from our community. We have we have a Protestant strong political party, we have a Catholic strong political party, and we have two that sort of balance in the middle. One's a little bit more Catholic, one's a little bit more Protestant. But we don't have any standout on their own. And
Non-religious type, yeah.
not to say anything, but I'm willing to go out and willing to stand, and I'm willing to put, like, I'm not a bad person. I'm willing to put my heart and soul in this to become.
Who told you that?
To become an MP in this country, you must originally come up with $5,000 before you can even be considered.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Then you have to have come up in this. You have to have support. You can be independent. Then you join a party. You must take on their lines and this, that, and the other. We've got the Green Party, who is, wanting more environmental, wanting to legalize weed and things like that. But we have no atheist. We could do something with this, with support.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like. Wait. I'm sorry. Pardon me. My bad.
I think here in Canada, it's a bit of a different scenario because the politics tend to take a back seat to these kind of activism groups.
Yeah.
And so we tend not to really get involved directly in the politics, but things here aren't so fiery and strongly contested here like what we see in the U.S. as well and in some other countries. So the focus, I think, will be different for atheism communities from country to country, and you'll definitely see that. But I think if there's some way to have everybody connected, and I do have some ideas on this, then that would be actually really good because we could end up having larger numbers, and for people who are outside of their country, they can still remain connected back to their country, and we can somehow maybe even assist with that so that the voting power doesn't get lost in a way,
I have mentioned this many a time before, that what annoys me so much, and I'm getting a wee bit emotional now, I have had a few drinks, I've finished my bottle of wine and I'm now on to the second one, but we'll not even talk about that. But the education system in this country is segregated like blacks and whites used to be in America. We have Protestant and Catholic segregation in schools.
Really?
And the Catholic schools are run by the Catholic Church. You must have a religious degree to teach in a Catholic church. The convent or the consumption or whatever the fucking area is called for my wee girl in school is 4 to 5 Catholic schools and 1 secular. Now the secular originally was Protestant, but because the Protestants is the government, the British government, it must be secular. It must allow everyone in. But because my wee daughter is on a birth certificate as a Christian, she's lower down the list for being accepted because all Protestants must go to the secular school because they can't be accepted by the Catholic school because they're not Catholic. The Catholic school also segregate by girls and boys.
Right.
Very discriminatory.
Hey, I put a link over there for you, Robbie. In the
that's
chat.
UK. I'm Northern Ireland, man.
No, okay, I understand. Well, the only difference between your link and my link is yours has got the .org between the UK. Yours has UK too. I'm saying this is straight .uk.
Does that one work?
It's available on GoDaddy. You can get it for $11 a year, $12 a year.
Yeah.
Doesn't come with a website.
Oh no, I don't need to worry about that. No.
But the domain is available. I just thought that now the other one, I did do the search on the other one that you put up there. That domain is taken.
Yes, but if you go to click on that website, it says that your server works, the connection works, but the website is down.
That's right. That means somebody owns the domain, but they don't have a website there. Just like exactly what you're talking about doing if you purchase this other one, but don't put a website there.
The thing is, the reason I used that particular one is because that was active up until about maybe a year ago. So there is background support with that, with what is now everybody in the council of that website and that organisation left and joined Northern Ireland Atheists or Northern Ireland Humanism. So there's a connection there. So if I got that, it would be an instant connection with a bigger group of maybe 20,000 people on the register, and it's an instant boost. But I get what you're saying. I understand. Starting from scratch. But that's the point I'm trying to make, man. As I've said before, and I've said to you, we are only powerful if we group together. And
how long has the website been dead?
My girlfriend calls herself a Christian. She calls herself a Catholic. My girlfriend is agnostic and doesn't know it. I've had conversations.
How long has the website been dead?
About 6 months, because the last time I checked it, it was active and had actual pictures from their last organization, their last meeting.
So that would be valuable to have. If it'd been dead like for 5 years, I'd say forget it, just come up with a new name. But 6 months ago is still
keep watching it.
Yeah, so people still have bookmarks and links, and so it's got value.
Yeah,
and there'll be a time when the person stops paying for it to whenever it'll become available again.
Are you able to get in touch with the person who's been paying for it and see if they're willing?
All the people who did run that have left, as I've said, to go to Northern Ireland Humanism.co.uk, whatever it is. I will check.
Find out who it is. Right. I would suggest find out who it is. They probably just give it to you.
Yeah,
they may.
Yeah, that's. I did mention it before on Discord, so all I have to search is for that website in my Discord, and the whole conversation will pop up again. I can double check my receipts, so to speak. But it's just sitting there, and it did run for a year or so. They did have meetings, they did have this, that, and the other, and so there is, there's that. And my drive in this country is to change the education system, is to make this country more, and not more secular for the fact that I hate religion because God is this and God is bad, more so evil God monster. Not that. The reason I want to get rid of religion in this country is because of the cultural divide that it causes. And we are at the point now where there's a generation of people on the street who don't care. We have a generation of people in the government who take it far too serious. And we have a possibility of maybe 20 or 30 years here to raise a generation of kids who are willing to take that step and go over to the other side, make friends,
they need critical thinking classes and all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
and they need to.
That's exactly what I said with Christy earlier. There's no critical thinking.
That's a wonderful goal.
I call it education bulimia. You are force-fed stuff that you just regurgitate back onto an exam paper, and you forget 6 months later.
That's such an important goal because it helps humanity worldwide. Directly, it helps your country, but then this spreads out to the rest of the world because people do move around and move to other countries sometimes. So what you're doing is actually has the potential to be fantastic for humanity. So I applaud you on it. I think it's great that you want to do that.
I am petrified, like physically actually scared. We started potty training my wee girl today, which
I'm sorry, but I have to get going because of family stuff.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you did say that in the private chat. Man,
I got to go too, guys.
Right. Well, everybody, if you want to share your channels and we'll end it. Randolph, if you want to do a wee...
Go ahead.
Oh, sure. I'm with the Canadian Atheists. We're at www.canadianatheists.ca. That's there's an S at the end there. And I am also promoting the fundamental definition of atheism as common. It seems to be most commonly used at defineatheism.com. Thank you very much for having me on this channel.
Randolph, really appreciate it, man. We definitely need a sort of date.
We too, yes, me too, Randolph. We need to get you on the show one of these mornings.
Looking forward to that very much.
Awesome.
Everybody, thank you very much for turning up. Thank you very much for coming. And we'll see you all later.
See you later.
Take care.